Season is wrapping up here at LakePoint Sports with the 17U National Championship Final just minutes away here at the Baseball Village. I'll be taking you up to first pitch between Canes Midwest and Tidewater Phillies as 167 teams goes down to 2. I'm Cory McCartney, and I'll be joined along the way by Prep Baseball Georgia's Avery Hunt and Ian Smith, along with Grayson Rosen. Like always, this is a stage set for big-time performances and big-time moments, and if you've been paying attention all summer long, that's not all that we are looking for here at LakePoint Sports, as we have teamed up with Johnsonville to help to keep the internet juicy. So let's go inside that mission to bring the positive back to the internet. Any and everyone is encouraged to share these moments, so whether you're the one who spotted the activity, the one performing the act, or the recipient of the good deed, there is something in it for everyone, and Johnsonville might just reward you for your behavior and or participation. So use the QR code on screen for more information on how you can make a submission, or head on over to LakePointSports.com or our social media channels to access the submission form. And one of the teams that had put on a show here in the 17U National Championship was 643 DP, making it to the second round of bracket play, and a key cog for them, John Stutzer out of Georgia's Pope High School, a Florida State commit, and our own Grayson Rosen went extra bases with Stutzer.
Today we're going extra bases with FSU commit John Stutzer of Pope High School and 643 DP Cougars. How are you doing today, John?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, yeah. You're the number 3 player in Georgia, the number 44 player in the nation. He's also a dual sport athlete. You can find him playing wide receiver for the Pope Greyhounds as well. John, let's go ahead and start right now. We're going to go extra bases here, and we'll start talking about your high school, Pope. It's a perennial powerhouse in Georgia. Tons of MLB and college talent have come through, among the likes of the Lowe brothers in the MLB, and then James Tibbs, who's probably going to be a top 10 pick tonight in the MLB draft. Have you gotten the chance to talk to any of these people that have come through this Pope system and maybe get some advice from them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hit with Tibbs last fall. He's an awesome guy. The brotherhood at Pope is just amazing, so everybody's always connected. So
yeah.
They always come back and reach out.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see you and James kind of running the same career course heading to Florida State now.
Yes, sir.
But the next thing, you committed to Florida State back in November. How did that kind of change your approach to the game going into your junior and senior year?
Yeah, it was awesome. It gave me a lot of confidence, and confidence is a big thing when it comes to the way I play.
All right, well, let's start the lightning round then. Wood bats or metal bats? Which better?
Wood.
Wood,
I like
okay.
the barrels.
All right, what's the top song on the playlist right now? This is a tough one for everybody.
I'm going to have to go Linger right now.
Oh, okay. Love it. Linger by the Cranberries. What's the best meal that you can cook yourself?
Oof, I can't. I'm not a good cook. But I'm going to have to go breakfast pancakes and bacon.
Okay, okay. Who's your favorite athlete growing up?
It's always been Acuna. I love the way he runs the bases.
Fantastic. So I guess that would answer who's your favorite active MLB player would be Ronald Acuna. All right, and then this is the final question. What would be better? If you went 3 for 4 at the plate, had a single, a double, and a solo shot, or if you had 7 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns?
I'm going to have to go 3 for 4 because that's a lot harder to do than receptions.
We heard it here first. John Stutzer thinks that baseball's harder than football, and you might see him under some Friday night lights at Pope this fall, or you'll see him playing at Pope baseball and then at FSU, maybe even in the MLB very shortly. John, thanks for your time today, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
From Grayson Rosen and John Stutzer. Now, if you've been to the Baseball Village, a retail row here is a baseball player's dream. And yes, there's also something in it for the parents as well. But our Simone Stanley put a spotlight on a mainstay here in the shops, and that's Bonet.
What's up, everyone? Simone Stanley here with LakePoint Sports, back at Baseball Village. Today we are checking out one of our longest standing vendors here, Bonet, and we are joined by
Chase Contract.
Chase. So Chase, can you explain what Bonet is?
So basically we make nets for a lot of sports right now. We're displaying our baseball nets, and yeah, it's basically a portable net that you could bring anywhere. You could keep it at your house, and yeah, they're really great for before games or at home.
I like it. And y'all don't just sell nets. Y'all sell all kinds of stuff. What's some of the other the product offerings?
We sell bags. We sell baseballs. We sell training balls, and we sell ice 20s over there. And yeah, we sell everything baseball. So if you need anything, come hit us up.
Yes, come to Bonet right in the front, like right when you walk inside Baseball Village. It's one of the first vendors you'll see on the right. So what is it like working at Baseball Village?
It's nice. There's a lot of people here. It's one of the prettiest sports complexes I've been to. And all the people are friendly. All the LakePoint workers are great. And yeah.
I like it. Well, guys, I'm Simone. He is Chase. We are here today at Baseball Village hanging out with Bonet.
Barnsley Resort is an experience unlike any other and an absolute gem across the metro area. President David Friedrich joined me discussing that Georgia's 3,000-acre award-winning resort is honoring the past while also progressing towards the future and the celebrations and promotions that are in place for its 25-year anniversary. So here's my interview with Barnsley Resort President David Friedrich. And I am now joined by David Friedrich, president of Georgia's own award-winning Barnsley Resort, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary. That's right. David, good to have you during, I know it has to be an exciting time for Barnsley.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a great milestone for the property. You know, we were established in 1999, and it's been a great journey so far. And we've had a lot of additions throughout the years. 2007, excuse me, was a great year. We added some new cottages, multi-bedroom cottages that kind of changed the experience for our resort guests, along with a lot of other activities, sporting clays, horseback riding, things of that nature to complement our world challenging golf course, our spa, and other components of the resort. And then, of course, in 2018, we added the traditional inn, 55 rooms there, which again changed some of the experience for our guests, and it's really great. Addition to our venue with the Manor House Ruins, which is a great spot for our corporate groups as well as weddings and multi-generational families and things of that nature. And right now we're going through a cottage renovation, which is a great opportunity for us. But we've got a great 25th anniversary celebration that's going to be happening this Labor Day. Great events out at our sporting grounds, field party, capped off on Saturday night. Over that weekend with a great band coming out of Nashville to help us. Rodeo Disco is going to come down. They're a big opener for many headliners out of Nashville. Great activities, great food and beverage experience, and so we're really excited about celebrating our 25th anniversary. And of course, we ask everybody to come out throughout the entire rest of this year. We've got great promotions and packages that are available. 25% off of your experiences. So we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be a great celebration. We've got some other partners celebrating with. We've got our own beer coming out there as well to help us commemorate and doing some fun things to celebrate the 25th.
I want to read to you some of the reviews there are online about Barnsley Resort. This resort is one of a kind. There are not enough good things for me to say about how incredible this trip was. I cannot wait to go back. Great love stories deserve great telling. This resort tells a love story amazingly well throughout the facilities, the staff, and the experience. From your vantage point, overseeing all that Barnsley is and all that it has to offer, what do those kind of reactions mean to you?
Oh, it means the world to me. In fact, we just celebrated 4th of July, and we shot off fireworks. We've been doing that now for 6 years. And, you know, as the fireworks displays completed, I always go out and try to thank everybody for coming, and thanks for being here. And I had a family, a father and his 5 kids just said to me, we will always come back to Barnsley. Like, this has created such memorable experiences for us. And I was like, that's a tagline. It's exactly what Barnsley Resort is built for. Our style of resort, it's a walking village, 3,000 acres. We have unlimited activities, as I mentioned a few of them earlier, with UTV rides, horseback riding, axe throwing, archery, air rifle, world-class spa, world-class golf. Of course, hunting during the season and things of that nature, our sporting clays. And we've recently just added a relatively new component of the shooting experience. It's called Halise, and it is it's more of a spun target instead of a flung target, right? So the air hits it as it moves around and it banks differently, more like a dove. So it's a new challenging aspect to the sporting clays world. And so we're having some fun with that. We've moved all of our shooting activities onto the Beretta Shooting Grounds, which is off of Old Hall Station there, or Hall Station Road. And so it's really created another layer, if you will. And so when I hear comments like that, it's like, okay, thanks to our people, the number one compliment we get is that our staff are authentic and genuine in the way that they approach their service experience. And it allows us to create some unreasonable hospitality, as we like to call it.
So you mentioned Halise. It kind of mimics wild birds, as you mentioned. Have you tried it yet?
No, we've just got it up, and I'm scheduled to go out there this weekend, actually, and going to test my own skills. I don't bet on myself at this point, but I'm looking forward to having that so that we can have a true understanding between the differences as we're explaining that type of an experience to our guests as they're asking those questions. And we rotate our reservations team out there, our sales team, and get everybody out there to have that experiential opportunity, so that as we're selling these experiences, we can actually speak as an expert, if you will.
This is going to be more philosophical, but you guys have the Boxwood Gardens, which date back to the 1840s.
That's right.
How do you balance that kind of idyllic nature of what Barnsley is with progression and improvements? Yeah,
I think that's a really important thing that we try to capture, is that we don't want to really change the essence of what the resort is as we continue to grow. We have future expansion programs, eventually real estate coming to the area, and as we're about to build another 50 rooms onto the inn, I mentioned we're going through our cottage room renovation right now. We've got a brand new beer garden experience that's going to have an open-aired pavilion with a new kitchen and a world-class smoker with a viewing window, so people can actually come in and actually watch us salting the meats, pulling the meats out. It's going to be a fun sort of an interactive window there for our guests. And this morning, we're breaking ground on 6 pickleball courts. And in January, we'll be building a resort-style pool with a lazy river and rock slide. Wow. It's gonna change that experience too for the guests. So to your point, it's how do we add these amenities but continue to have the walking village experience, the historical significance of our historical gardens, as you mentioned, from 1840s, 1850s. That storytelling and the thread has to continue to come through in all that we do, and so we're certainly not going to change that as we expand our amenities. The goal is just to bring all of our amenities to the same level, so that the experience is, transcends all aspects of your experience at the resort. But we'll always be mindful. We want to be great stewards of the land. We do a lot of community work as well to support that. We recently just did a road cleanup out in front of us, and we had the Boys and Girls Club join us. Many of our members joined us, and trying to make sure that we are a great partner in this community that we live in, and being mindful of our historic past.
And you mentioned 25th anniversary sale that you guys are doing, and
That's
some
right.
big events headed towards Labor Day.
Absolutely. So we're really looking forward to that. Call us, come down, but you can enjoy that all the way through. But the main celebration will be Labor Day weekend.
And if you haven't already, get yourself out to Barnsley Resort if you're in the metro area. If you happen to come here to LakePoint Sports and you're looking to get away from the sports scene for a little bit here across campus, an absolutely must-see. David, man, thank you so much for the time.
Cory, excellent. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it. And by the way, we love being partners with LakePoint Sports. Being your only resort component to that, it's just been a great addition to, you're bringing over 2 million visitors here, and that really is wonderful for Bartow County, but also we get many of your guests your people that come here to play also stay with us, so we want to thank you for your partnership.
Absolutely. Make sure you get yourself out to Barnsley Resort. So you heard it there. Absolutely get yourself out to Barnsley Resort if you have not. It's an experience and an opportunity you will not want to miss, and an opportunity that neither the Tidewater Phillies nor the Canes Midwest team are going to want to miss as we're going through the 17U National Championship here. First pitch just minutes away, so we'll be rejoining you as we get our action started here from the Audi Marietta Field in the Baseball Village. national championship final. Cory McCartney along with Prep Baseball Georgia's Avery Hunt. And a little bittersweet for you, Avery. You're going to get a break here after this. We got the future games coming up for a few days, so the Prep Baseball tournament side of things going to, not say take a back seat, but going to get a little bit of a breather here for you. I'm sure welcome after everything that's been going on since Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely. Kind of got this thing started in early February with our youth schedule, and this is the last one of the year so far. So, it's looking forward to it a little bit, but also at the same time, future games is its own monster. So, still busy around here for the next week or so.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute blast over these 5 days of the future games, getting started with Wednesday's workout day, and then we'll have gameplay going through Saturday, and then Sunday will belong to the junior feature games as they'll have a championship play out of their bracket. And right now we're trying to work on a champion here in the 17U National Championship Final. Lucas Collins on the mound for Canes Midwest. Tidewater Phillies at the plate. We've got Thomas Weston. He'll be followed by Thomas Conrad and Connor Worth. Things delayed a little bit from our normal bracket play schedule. Typically, we might already be crowning a champion by 1:30 in the afternoon on a weekday here, but the rain kind of forced you guys to rework the schedule. Ended up playing the quarterfinals as well as the semifinals today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anybody that's been around the state of Georgia the end of last week into the weekend knows all too well the weather that rolled through. So we had to restructure a little bit, expand the playoffs, and got our quarterfinals in this morning and got our semifinals done in the 10-20 slot, and here we go rolling with the championship game, which you said normally is done by this time of day.
So we got a leadoff walk from Lucas Collins to Thomas Weston. That will bring up Thomas Conrad. Thomas Conrad, Virginia Military Institute commit out of Greenbrier Christian High School in Virginia. He's the 14th ranked outfielder in the state. Got exit velos around 94 for him, so see what he can do for this Phillies team, who's looked awfully strong throughout and obviously able to make it this far. You got to have some serious depth, and certainly we talk about this all the time with these national championships, is how much pitching do you have? And I think that's going to be a question these teams are going to have to answer, because especially with having to play an additional game on the final day of bracket play, that kind of changes everything.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously with the expanded bracket play to begin with, most teams had to play 3 games yesterday and now 3 today, as well as the 4 in pool play that they rented up. So you're in 10-game territory and 6 games in 2 days. So it just comes into that pitching depth, having enough arms to be able to get you through.
2-0 is the count to Thomas Conrad. Conrad with bat speed around 64.8, exit velo around 93.5. He's got to have a little bit extra respect for somebody who's willing to take on that Virginia Military Institute as their commitment. That's no joke. 3-0 count, watches that one sail to the wall. Runner takes off for second.
Struggle a little bit with command early here. Don't know if it's maybe a little nerves, just not quite finishing pitches with the fastball right now. Missing a lot up and away to the arm side.
Yeah, Collins uncommitted 2025 out of Bishop Dwenger High School in Indiana, 6 foot, 185 pounder. He's the 4th ranked lefty in the state of Indiana, 31st overall. Got him with a fastball up around 89, 2200 spin. So what's the role for you during the Future Games event? Certainly, as I mentioned, it changes a little bit for you. Do you get to be a little bit more of a spectator and watch some of this action, or where do you kind of fall into the pecking order?
In the past years, kind of helped out with Team Georgia on the coaching side of things with workouts, just whatever needed to be done. This year, we'll kind of just be like a floater. Anything that the guys from home office or Matt Yarber, our VP, who's down here full time, anything they need will that I can help out with, we'll kind of do that. But it'll definitely be more of a more relaxed week for me. I think I say that now, and obviously I'll be all over the place. But a little more relaxed this year, just kind of spectating, just being around it, helping out in any little way I can. So it would definitely be a little bit lighter of a week. Not as many phone calls and emails as a normal tournament week. So. My phone bill will be happy for that one.
So back-to-back walks and go out and have a talk here with Lucas Collins. You mentioned he was having a little bit of trouble locating early on, so unsure if Lucas had pitched earlier in this tournament. Certainly we could go back and pull that from our aware resources and check his workload so far, but almost guarantee he's already seen some innings. But a little bit more stressful here as we try to work towards a championship and see who we're going to end up getting the last of these rings. It's kind of hard to believe we're to the point now where the 17s are finishing off, and then, as I mentioned, we'll have future games going up through Sunday, and then all of a sudden, you come Monday morning, this place is going to be like a ghost town.
Absolutely. It's going to be very weird Monday morning getting up and not heading to the ballpark for the first time in what it feels like, 5 years. But, my family and the dogs at home will be very glad that I'm hanging out at the house for a few days.
He's got Connor Worth is now at the plate.
So that arm side again, maybe could be a little bit of the humidity. It's a little sticky outside right now, and not scorching hot like we've seen during some of our other championship games this summer, but it's definitely a little sticky. Maybe the sweat's affecting the command a little bit, trying to go to the rosin, see if he can't get back in the zone here.
Connor Worth at the plate. James Madison commit out of Cox High School in Virginia shows bunt. Oh, that one nearly hit the camera. That could have been all kinds of fun. If the ball hits the camera and ends up getting off kilter, we may be
off the air quick.
We may be off the. We might be just explaining to you everything that's happening down below.
It'll be a radio broadcast.
That's right.
It
sure would be. So that's going to be it for Collins as he's going to depart after that ball. Maybe that's his punishment for nearly hitting our cameras, that he gets to exit here in the first inning without even recording a walk. Out, excuse me. Had 2 walks, 2-0 count, so he'll be replaced on the mound. Still with Connor Worth still at the plate.
Yeah, if you're Canes Midwest here, just, I think it's a really good job by the coaching staff. It didn't look like he probably had his best stuff today and struggling with command. Let's go ahead and make a quick change, see if we can't keep ourselves in this ball game. These are long contests, and the last thing that, these guys want to do is, the first time you come up to hit and you're down 5-0 on one hit or something like that. So, just go ahead and make the change, see if the next guy can kind of, help pick him up, keep the damage down here.
He's going to give way to Mason Barth, Notre Dame commit, 5'9", 200-pounder, shortstop and right-handed pitcher. He was here for the feature games back in 2022, obviously part of Team Indiana, and was also here for 2021 for the junior feature games. Has to be an interesting conversation with some of these kids, because this is, for a lot of them, the last time they'll ever play at LakePoint Sports. They think about, how your career goes as a travel ball player, and you're, a kid is an 8th grader looking to make your way to the junior feature games and establish yourself. Come back, try to make your way into MPI, play in these national championships. Maybe you get to play in the real feature games along the way, and then all of a sudden you're here for that summer before your senior year, and it's like the first thing before your senior year that's kind of taken away, and you're like, oh, this is the end of my time as a travel ball player.
Yep.
And he'll play, obviously, his high school season this next year for Andrean High School in Indiana, and then that'll be it before he's potentially on his way to Notre Dame or hearing his name called in the MLB draft. So not to get wistful, is obviously myself being a parent of a senior to be this year, but I know there's a lot of parents that are probably sitting in these stands right now with that realization, like, man, this is the last time my kid will be wearing the uniform that they're wearing out there in the field right now. So we go from the downer part of the broadcast to now Mason Barth on the mound. He's got a 2-0 count. Drops that in for a strike.
It's got to be a welcome sign for the Canes Midwest, just bringing somebody in, let them throw strikes, let their defense work behind them. Just kind of watching these guys the past few days during bracket play. I mean, their outfield, they can go get it. And, just let those guys go to work out there and track down some fly balls.
Yeah, this, you talk about fly balls with Canes Midwest involved. Their last game in the semifinals, there were 3 balls hit to the warning track, including one of them that was about 98 off the bat. And I think the guy, I'm not going to name names, but the guy who hit it just pimped it a little bit on his way down the first baseline, then quickly realized it was not going to make it over the wall, and then started booking it as it was caught just at the warning track. So there's no wind here today, so there's not as though anything is blowing back in. Did mention it goes down on strikes. We have a fan in the background, so if you want to call them fan-aided home runs, that might be something we can do here on Field 10, but none have been provided so far today.
Absolutely. I mean, weather conditions today aren't ideal for the backspin carry on some fly balls. It's a little sticky outside, so some balls might be dying a little bit right there at the warning track. So interesting to see if that comes into play here in this championship game.
It's now one down, and this is Ryan Goshio, another James Madison commit out of Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia, 4th-ranked catcher in the state of Virginia, 59th overall. I saw some pretty insane pop times so far on some of the kids that are going to be here for future games. Saw all the way down to 184.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. If you're able to make it out to campus between Wednesday and Sunday, particularly Wednesday through Saturday when we'll have the 25s and 26s out here, the 26s, because of the recruiting changes, you're going to have some of the best players in the absolute best players in the nation. I think every time we say top uncommitted players, in the United States and Canada, you can literally say the top players in the United States and Canada for this event because of the changes. I mean, you're going to have the number 1 player in the class of 2027, Lash Henderson, is going to be here for Texas. A number of highly ranked players in the class of 2026. Matt Ponatoski from Ohio is the number 7 player, the highest ranked that will be here among the 2026s. So, I mean, it's going to be it's going to be just basically fish in a barrel for anybody who's looking to recruit players and anybody who's looking to come out and see some high-level players in action.
Absolutely. I mean, just to talk on, Lash Henderson here, they played up in the 16U National Championship earlier this year, and, just the show that he put on then, you're going to put metal in his hand, and it's like, oh, okay, this should be fun.
That's a man in a 15-year-old's body.
You walk down to field level, and it's like, oh, those 15-year-olds are twice my size, and it's like, maybe I still got a growth spurt left in me somewhere.
You know what's funny about him being here, though, is like he still can't be recruited for another year.
Yep.
So if you're one of these coaches that are watching him and you're just sitting there and it's like forbidden fruit, it's like, you're going to have to wait around. But could be, a different world for him next summer. May not be back here. That one's shot into left field on the run, able to make the catch. Runner's taken off for home, though. Man, he can absolutely book, and Tidewater Phillies are going to be on the board now, leading 1-0 here with 1 out in the top of the first.
I think if you're both teams, you're okay with how this inning's gone. Obviously, Tidewater, you get your first 2 guys on, then follow that with a punch out, and it's like, okay, we got to take advantage of this, scoring opportunity here in the first inning, grab the quick lead. So they take the 1-0 lead, but if you're Canes Midwest, also you got 2 outs now, limited the damage. You can keep it to 1. I think that they'll take that result 99 times out of 100.
That one is in for a strike. Finding a little bit more consistency here with Barth on the mound, and this is Wes Stubbe, First Colonial High School in Virginia, DH today, 12th-ranked catcher in the state of Virginia. Never have too many pitchers and too many catchers when you're playing in these tournaments. One is the count. Barth delivers. Oh, nice swing and a miss. First time we've seen a really great breaking ball out of him. That was late life to it for sure.
Absolutely. Something to keep an eye on this game from Tidewater is their base runners like to kind of get a small lead to start and then kind of almost get a running start to try to swipe back. So Canes will have to keep kind of an close eye on that, try to keep those guys, make them stop their feet so they're not able to swipe backs.
1-2. That one's going to go high. Not sure if he realized he called time. There we go. That's got to be a bit of a treacherous territory if you're his catcher, right? Like, did he
He's just looking down.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like,
looking
oh, gosh.
down. Is he going to throw the ball? 2-2 count. Got runner at second. 1-0 is the lead for Tidewater Phillies here in the first inning. Now that one sails on him.
Big pitch here in this ball game already in the first inning. 3-2 count, chance to get out of the inning. If you're Tidewater, just trying to extend it, keep working up that pitch count, having good at bats. see if you can't get deeper and deeper into this Canes Midwest pitching staff.
Yeah, Mason Barr started out at shortstop and quickly found himself on the mound as Lucas Collins just was having trouble finding the zone. He's missing the zone as well a little bit as he issues a 2-out walk. Already 1-0 lead for Tidewater. We'll have runners at first and second as they'll turn things over to Isaiah Nolan. Isaiah Nolan, North Point Christian High School in Tennessee. A lone Tennessee player on this roster for the Tidewater Phillies. See the Sharps coming by from Prep Baseball, Alabama. Everybody's going to kind of start making their way here.
Seeing a lot of our guys, battling the flight issues that are plaguing much of the United States right now. So,
yeah, Dan Cox though did manage to make it in all the way from Hawaii. We were exchanging emails yesterday. So the guy with the least argument, on travel is able to get here way ahead of almost everybody. 2-0, and that one's in on him.
I think the big issue right now in that is I think it's Delta's that is struggling the most, and obviously Delta's main hub here in Atlanta, so a lot of guys are flying in on Delta and running into some delays and other issues. So
yeah, it will be interesting to see with so many players from across the country, and as I mentioned, Canada as well here for future games, who's all going to be impacted as that ball gets away from the runners will both advance. How many players are going to be impacted over these next few days? Are guys going to be able to make it here in time to participate in workout days and then get here for their game days? So it's certainly going to be a subplot for us to watch, and we obviously are hoping everybody's travel woes get worked out quickly because we don't want anybody to miss out on this opportunity. It's such a huge moment for these players in their recruiting process. .30 is the count to Nolan. Another walk. So that'll now bring up Cam Telsfin. Cam from Virginia Beach. Old Dominion commit. Makes you wonder who actually owns the rights on the name Old Dominion, because you got the shipping company, you got the school, and you got the band.
that is true. Who's got the
who started it?
He's got the rights reserved logo
That's right.
in the bottom right corner.
Who had to ask for permission to be Old Dominion? Maybe if anybody's watching and they might have some insight, you can send us something in the replies, or love to get a little bit of the background there on the Old Dominion name. Sent for a strike. Never been to the school, but seen the band. They put on a hell of a show.
I've seen the band. Never been to the school, and I'm sure the shipping company's done something for me throughout the years, but that's one of those things that you don't really think about.
That's right.
Start getting some tracking numbers, keeping up with it.
Exactly. 0-2 count, swings through that for a strike, and that'll get him out of the inning. Tidewater Phillies, though, have taken a 1-0 lead. We'll be back. You're watching the 17U National Championship Final.
So, yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
now Canes Midwest's turn at the plate as they trail 1-0 over Tidewater Phillies in the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney, Prep Baseball George's Avery Hunt with you. Brandon Logan will lead things off for Canes Midwest, followed by Mason Barth, who's now found his way onto the mound in this matchup, and then Landon Fry. Tidewater Phillies have Derek Baker on the mound. Get the full umpire crew for this one. As we always talk about, they come together after the semifinals, and we get the four-man crew for these events. It's always a eye-opener, I'm sure, for the players. Not a lot of times that they get this many umpires on the field at once, but good opportunity for these guys to get their four-man crew workings out and get a chance to go out there and work together.
Yeah, we went 3-man for the quarters, 4-man for the semis, and now 4-man for the championship. So getting more guys out there, making sure we're covering all our bases, and getting as many things as we can. Right.
This is Brandon Logan, Vanderbilt commit, leading things off for Canes Midwest. First-ranked outfielder in the state of Indiana in the class, third-ranked overall. He's 13th at his position nationally, 65th overall. Exit velo is around 93 for him. Bat speed around 72. Runs a 6.6 60. So all Vanderbilt needs is another fast guy with bat-to-ball skills, but looks like they may have another one here in the form of Brandon Logan.
Yeah, they just seem to have those guys everywhere all the time. So what's one more? We'll throw one more on the mix.
2021 junior feature gamer's got a 1-1 count, and he skies this one back foul. I mentioned a lot of these guys the last time they'll be in these uniforms, but we've got Logan coming back for the Prep Baseball Cup in September.
Mm-hmm.
So I shortchanged it a little bit. Some of these guys don't have to get mom and dad crying yet. That's really a lot of fun, too, and that's on the heels of the All-American game this year, which will be September 15th in Miami. So coming off that, we'll have an opportunity to see some more of these guys here during one of the bigger events as he rips that one almost 90 off the bat, but goes right into the glove of the shortstop. So fast the camera couldn't even cut away, and there's now one down.
Looking outside the studio here, looks like we got a little bit of a drizzle happening, so hopefully this doesn't pick up any more than it is right now.
There's the Notre Dame commit, Mason Barth. Took over in relief for Collins on the mound in the first inning. 6'7", 160 for the 5'9", 200-pounder. More like a fullback. 104 exit velo. Bat speed 83. Talk about this all the time, but Giancarlo Stanton averages about 80 on his bat speed. And you're talking about, obviously, you take somebody who's got 600-plus ABs over a Major League season and put that up against somebody who largely maybe gets those numbers in a showcase environment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still pretty crazy to think about how you stack up against a major leaguer. Yeah, Barth certainly has two-way potential all over the place here. 92 on the fastball with a 2200 spin at the curveball changeup slider. A lot of activity you may hear in the background. Everybody's getting ready for the feature game, so.
A lot of moving parts here today.
Sure are.
Doing something a little bit different this year, having guys be able to check in from 4 to 9 the day before to hopefully cut down on the craziness at the front. But we'll see, how that works out this year.
Goes down on strikes, so now 2 outs in the inning. Yeah, it'll be interesting, too, because a lot of the pitchers don't really have anything to do during workout days, so they just come today and then kind of hang out for a couple days along with the wasps that we got going around here in the studio.
Just making sure
buzzed,
making sure he wasn't flying towards me.
He's trying to get checked in. Well, I don't think we produced uniforms in their sizes this year, unfortunately, but we may have to.
Let's get him a hat and a bag tag. He'll be good to go.
Ball's going to get away from the catcher and makes it 1-0. This is Landon Fry.
It's always good to see when you got a little bit of rain falling when the sun's out and a LakePoint specialty this time of year. Good swing there as he sends that one right back up the middle.
So Fry drops that in for a 2-out single. The Indiana commit will be standing at first base. Fry will give away to Taylor Belza. Belza, catcher and an Auburn commit. We mic'd up Taylor earlier this summer. It was a lot of fun. You can go back and find that on our social accounts. Also had a really good one of those last night that went up with Terrence Bowen, the Oklahoma State commit from Blessed Trinity High School here in Georgia. Sends that one down the right-hand side, and it's going to be out. Rain's starting to spit a little bit here, as you can see. And we are through one, and Tidewater Phillies lead 1-0 in the 17U National Championship Final.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere? And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
On to the second inning here in the 17U National Championship Final from the Audi Marietta Field here at LakePoint Sports Baseball Village. Cory McCartney along with a sleepy Avery Hunt for Baseball Georgia. Not allowed to be sleepy already. We're still rolling along. But you guys did have an early morning, as I said, here with the quarterfinal games being squeezed in here along with the semifinals and finals, as the weather kind of played havoc over this event the last few days. You guys even had to shorten games from an hour 45 to an hour 30 to try to make ends meet.
Yeah, just had to get some games in. A little tired this morning. Didn't get the morning coffee or an energy drink, so we're running low on the caffeine intake so far. So I might have to go find a coffee somewhere after this. So
half off at Starbucks today. I got the email this morning, so shameless plug. By the way, so we went from the 16U National Championship before, and then we had 15, 14. When you have the 17U, and we just saw this during the final warm-up pitch there as they all walk away from the mound. The facial hair is the one thing I can remember. Like, it always takes me back when you start seeing mustaches and beards and stuff with these 17U kids, and we just saw that at shortstop. Pretty nice-looking mustache there. So I don't think I was able to do that at all when I was at 17 years old, but more power to these guys. They already got it rolling. But yeah, that's always a little bit of shell shock there when you start seeing all the facial hair.
absolutely, going back to 17 years old, I wish I could change my facial hair decisions, but you live and learn, I guess.
That's right. 1-1 is the count. This is Keegan Helsler. He'll be followed by Trey Campos and Eli Kraft.
Went for the bunt there and just fouled it off.
So 2-2 count to Helsler. Keegan, another James Madison commit, so that's at least 3 on this team as that one goes back foul. 6'3", 175-pounder out of First Colonial High School in Virginia. He is the 6th-ranked first baseman in the state, 126 overall.
Seen Tidewater so far be able to put up lots of really long at-bats, get deep into counts, and kind of run the pitch count up from both the starter and the reliever here.
Swing and a miss on the drop third, takes off at first, and they'll get him for the first out. So we go from Keegan Helsler to Trey Campos. Another James Madison commit. Might as well roll this out as the 2026 James Madison starting lineup. Trey from Government STEM Academy at Lansdowne High. Can't imagine that they use an acronym for that, right?
I feel like you almost have to.
To GSAALH.
Yeah, we got to cut that one down a little bit.
Only so many letters, right? Oh, misses inside. 6 foot, 175-pounder. Had him here for feature games in the past. Was a 2023 participant. Gets away from the catcher, and the count will be 3-1. 6'7", 560 for Trey.
Get down the line a little bit.
Just feels like guys are getting bigger and faster. You know, a lot of times you talk about that kind of speed, you'd be talking about a guy in the past, is that one is going to go down the right side, it's going to be out. You used to talk about guys who were like 5'8", 5'9", that would be running those kind of speeds. Now you're talking about guys, you know, 6 foot and 6+ that are running sub 760s.
Yeah, just the athletes in all sports, especially baseball, just getting bigger, faster, stronger. You know, the year-round, you know, working out, training, more baseball-specific explosive workouts, or, you know, guys are making sure that their bodies are in the right place to be able to do what they, you know, put up the numbers that they know they need to, you know, play baseball at the next level.
Eli Kraft from Hickory High School. Eli 6'8", 60, so they do have some serious speed. You talked about just the base running tactics from Tidewater Phillies. Looks like they got a lot of guys who can run those 60 times that they're able to, you know, get aggressive on the base pass.
Absolutely. We've kind of, like I said earlier, we've kind of seen their guys kind of start out close to the bag, kind of, you know, just keep their feet moving and go right into a steal. And, you know, it's a pitcher, you're just trying to make them stop their feet, you know, come set a little bit longer, you know, throw over, you know, just give your catcher a chance where the guy's not getting a running start at first base.
2-2 count now to Kraft, playing second base today for Tidewater Phillies. Defensive swing as he's going down on strikes. 1-0 is the lead, though. Tidewater Phillies, Canes Midwest going to try to answer as we move along in the 17U National Championship Final.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Boogie, woogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty Mike.
Now on to the bottom of the second. Canes Midwest trying to find an answer as they trail 1-0 here in the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney along with Prep Baseball Georgia's Avery Hunt. We have Matthew Major leading things off for Canes Midwest. He's going to be followed by Zahir Barjum and Landon Sarkey. Derek Baker still on the mound for Tidewater Phillies, out for his second inning of work. Matthew Major, who will lead things off from Troy Christian High School in Ohio, not too far from my old stomping grounds. Tulane commit, got him at 101 exit velo with bat speed around 80 miles an hour, and number 1 ranked third baseman in Ohio in the class, 13th overall. The lone Ohio player that we have on this roster. Actually, take that back. We also have Taylor Belza from St. Ignatius High School. Interesting, went over to get the roster pregame. The Canes Midwest coach let us know that the roster's been wrong throughout the tournament, and none of the guys' numbers were matching up, but we were able to get things rolling for this event, so we'll make sure we have everybody ID'd properly. Can't always be perfect when we have 170 teams playing in an event. Can certainly make for some hurt feelings along the way, but obviously swing through that one for a strike. Try to do the best we can with the staff.
Absolutely, with all the rosters that come in, just trying to make sure everybody has one in, and if there's any issues when they get here, we can solve them pretty quickly. But
Major down the left side.
So I got down the third base line for.
Unfortunately, the cameras aren't exactly cooperating with us today. So Major's now going to give away to Zahir Barzum. Zahir uncommitted out of Christopher Columbus High School in Florida. 5'10", 187-pounder, 13th ranked shortstop in always the deep state of Florida when we're talking about shortstop talent, 39th overall in the class.
Good job behind the plate there to keep the runner at first. Don't want to get anybody in scoring position with nobody out to start the second inning.
What do you think the Christopher Columbus High School team name is?
Oh.
Well, I tell you what it is. It's going to be the Explorers, because that's exactly what Zahir Barzum did. Sent that one over the wall. Camera didn't cut, but, man, he is backtracking gone. Canes Midwest going out there to celebrate with them as they're going to answer Tidewater Phillies and take a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. And, man, he absolutely hammered that 98 off the bat. So fast our cameras didn't even catch up to it, but 2-1 is now the lead for Canes Midwest, and man, he just jumped all over that. It's got me off doing Google searches trying to see what Christopher Columbus High School. I thought maybe it was the Santa, the Maria, the Santa, the Pinter, the one of the ships in which they sailed across to get to the United States, but right in his own course here as they lead 2-1.
Absolutely, got a fastball over the middle of the plate, and made sure he didn't miss it. Talked about it earlier. That's not. I mean, that ball's hit to left center, so that's not a cheap one. So, really good piece of hitting there. Got a fastball I can take advantage of and jumped all over to give the Canes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, we got Zahir with 100 exit velo, so just right around what he's been producing, and he's able to take advantage and rips that one over the wall. As that one's going to go into center field for another hit. Landon Sarkey gets himself a knock, and here's Eli Bennett, the DH. And that may lead to a pitching change. We'll see if maybe this is going to be a conversation he had with Baker. Wonder one bad pitch, if that can derail a pitcher who was looking strong to that point.
Absolutely. Maybe just going out there, let him settle down a little bit. He was worked really efficiently in the first, pounding the strike zone. Gave up a single to left, then the homer, and now followed that with a single to center. So just kind of, letting him catch his breath. Like, hey, man, let's get confidence back, get back in the strike zone, let your defense work behind you.
Eli Bennett, Indiana commit out of Cathedral High School. 6'3", 200-pounder. He's looking to follow the course there set by his teammate Zahir Barjan when he went yard. A big hack for strike one. Barjan will be followed by, Bennett will be followed by Pernell Whitsitt. Then Will Coleman. Now 1-1 count. '2020 and 2021 junior feature gamer Eli Bennett.
Got some numbers on the home run. You know, the 98 exit velo traveled 377 feet.
Wow.
So got every bit of that one as he drove it over the left center field wall.
Well, it's got a 2-1 lead for Canes Midwest. 2-1's the count to Bennett. Skies that one down the left side foul.
Probably end up on field 9.
Comes a 2-2 from Baker, and that one's going to get him for strike. So Bennett goes down, watches strike 3.
Really good bounce back pitch there. So after the loud start of the inning, be able to come back and get a strikeout, kind of settle back in.
Pernell Whitsitt, Lincoln Trail Junior College commit at Northrop High School in Tennessee. Indiana. Right-handed pitcher and third baseman. 37th ranked righty in Indiana. He's got a 1-0 count. Make it 2-0. Baker slips that in for a strike as he's held back. It's now 2-1. 2-1 count. 2-1 is your score. Whitsitt watches that sail high for 3-1 count. Be followed by Will Coleman.
Seen a good amount of breaking balls here in this at bat. So expect him to be sitting heater here as he's missed with 2 straight breaking balls.
Swings through that one. Man, big cut. Makes it 3-2.
Looks like he was sitting on that one, just missed it. So 3-2 count. Be interesting to see what we go back here to. Try to get the punch out or maybe a ground ball, double play.
See if he can force him back to throw in another fastball. All right, count is full. Make his way down to first base. There'll be runners at first and second for Will Coleman.
We'll do the 3-2 change up there. Just missed high and away, just kind of got away from him a little bit there.
31 pitches now for Baker. 4 hits for Canes Midwest, along with that big blow by Zahir Barjan, that 2-run home run here on the bottom of the second to make it a 2-1 lead. Coleman from Castle High School can step in. 3rd-ranked left-handed pitcher, state of Indiana, 15th ranked player overall in the class. Got runners at first and second with 1 down. mentioned a few times everything that's going to be going on here the next few days during feature games. You're going to make sure you're going to join us on these broadcasts. We're going to have something really special in store for you the next few days. Wednesday's workout day. We're going to be going 4 fields at once in a multi-view, so we'll be able to take you inside the entire North Quad. There'll be action on fields 9, 10, 11, and 12. We'll have all kinds of prep baseball, state directors, scouts, even some players stopping by, help us through that one. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be bringing you 3 games at once on the stream then, and then wrap it up Sunday with the Junior Feature Games Championship. People are going to be let down when they tune in and just see one field going on.
Start charging people the NFL Red Zone subscription.
It's going to feel like NFL Red Zone. I think we're going to be bouncing around from some games. Just kind of zero in on some stuff, just have some fun conversations, and feel a little bit more like a traffic cop as we make our way through that. But it's, I think in the past we've zeroed in on just one game during a window and felt like maybe we were doing a disservice to everybody that was here. So see if we can expand it a little bit and see if I can survive the next 5 days. Miss and make it 2-1. Saw Ian Smith coming by. He's going to be stepping in here momentarily in place of Avery. He was wearing black, but I think this is going to be the first time we've had him in studio not wearing black. So
switch it up.
Oh no, he's got black on. He
back.
just went to a different black shirt. So Baker spins out. Runner goes back to second. I can't wait to know what Ian's going to be doing come Monday after feature games. He's basically been nonstop since February.
Good. He's going to be scouting guys on MLB The Show or something, I'm sure.
That one gets through. Throw over to first to Baker in time for the second out, but both runners will advance.
Really good play there by both the second baseman and the pitcher. That's not a routine play. Be able to hit your pitcher who's running to cover the bag, while also making that play in the hole and being a little bit off balance yourself. So.
Yeah, I think if you're Baker, the pitcher making that run, you just got to stay composed, right? Easy to kind of get caught up wondering how far back is that runner going to be? Am I going to be able to get to the bag before him and then be able to get that ball in your glove and make that play? Not an easy thing, but there'll be 2 down. We're now back to the top of the order, and Brandon Logan for Canes Midwest with 2 down. That's in for a strike. Logan 0 for 1. Dark clouds you can see out in left field. But they stay at bay here as we try to work our way through this national championship final. Just misses to make it 1-1.
Hopefully, with all the weather we had earlier in the week, we can catch a break and get this one done before anything rolls in.
Comes a 1-1 to Logan. So that one to third. Gathers long throw in time for the out, but 2-1 is the lead for Canes Midwest off the big blow from Zahir Barjam. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports. Avery, man, great to see you as always. We'll have you back real soon.
Thank you.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard? Front yard. Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. 2-1 is the lead for Canes Midwest over Tidewater Phillies in the 17U National Championship Final. Pitching change for Prep Baseball Georgia as we go from Avery Hunt to Ian Smith. And Ian, I know we've talked about this. You are on the road, have been on the road since February. Things are going to come to a halt after this weekend in future games. Are you feeling a little bit wistful?
A little bit, I think the first week I'm going to go watch some more baseball. The Marlins are in town for the Braves for a 3-game series first weekend of August, so I think I'm going to take advantage of that. Do a little bit of traveling in August, try to take advantage of that a little bit, go to some games. But yeah, man, it's been a great summer. It was a great spring, and it's been awesome. I'm excited to finish it with a great week like future games. You can't beat it like that.
Got Jamison Dick at the plate for Tidewater Phillies, their number 11 hitter. Then we're back to the top of the order, and Thomas Weston. Yeah, if you send out scouting reports from the Braves Marlins games, are anybody going to pay attention?
No, probably not.
But you still got to do it, right?
Got to
do you just have like a notepad that you send them into, or are you still going to put it on Twitter?
Probably not put it out on Twitter. Might enjoy myself for the day for once. Can't put any PBR uncommitted on on Jazz Chisholm or something like that.
That's right.
I'd like to. It's nice to go out and just see some professional baseball. I've never been to Truist Park.
Really?
So yeah,
I've been there way too much.
It'll be my first time. I've only been here about 7 months, so I wanted to go early in spring. It's a little warm though, so try to find a nice night game and enjoy that. Great pitch there.
Covering the Braves for the first 7 years in that stadium, I spent way too much time there to the point where even when I would go as a fan, I was still like live tweeting stuff from the stands, even though it's like you can't get away from that. Those tendencies.
That's how I feel about when we're taking trips to All-American games. So Marlins Park was the first park I was able to cover games in the press box at. So I was working for some publications for them. So it'd be nice to get back and to be around that park again after being there for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's a great place. That's going to be a lot of fun. We were obviously in Milwaukee last year. This one's going to be a blast, if not only for the food, but I think I'm interested to see. Last year the warm-up gear and what all of us got. Like, what's that going to look like this time? Is it going to have those Florida vibes to it, the Miami vibes?
I literally was just talking about that with one of the members of the team a few minutes ago. That's the best thing. The gear last year was outrageous, and I think it's only going to be better. It's Miami. You'd think some flamboyant colors might be showing, so I think so. I think Mizuno's going to go all out. They do a lot for us here at PBR, at Prep Baseball. So it's nice, and I think they're excited for year 2. We did year 1 really big, and I think year 2 is going to be even better. And I'm just excited for it. Excited for some Cuban food. I'm excited to take some people to some good spots down there, some non-English speaking spots that I love. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I'm excited for it, excited for the kids, and it's going to be good, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Made our way down to Little Havana last summer. Went to a Marlins game. Man, you want to go down and get some great food. That's definitely the place to be.
And Marlins Park, I think, is a criminally underrated park for what it is. I mean, granted, it's baseball in Miami, so it's not going to have as much interest, but that park's a really nice place to enjoy a baseball game at. Like, it's a dome. It can be open. It's got a really good backdrop. It's a good stadium to be at, I think. Oh, bad play there.
Oh, no. First baseman thought he had it. I don't know if he thought someone was crashing in on him, but pulls back because they're going to have runners at first and second, and a little bit of a defensive miscue for Canes Midwest.
This Canes Midwest team really showed out all well this week. So much good pitching we've seen from this team throughout the week. Josh Flores yesterday was one of the more electric outings I've seen throughout the summer. I haven't seen an 88-mile-an-hour slider at 2,800 in a little while. So he put down one of my favorite bats in the Georgia class yesterday on 3 pitches, and it was one of the more impressive at-bats I've ever seen from a high schooler. So impressive arms. Charlie Hoagland, another arm they threw yesterday as well. Former future gamer, one of the better curveballs we've seen this summer. Averaging 3,000 spin, landing for strikes whenever he wanted. It was an impressive outing for them, and just as not even talking about the bats either as well when you're looking at the top with guys like Brandon Logan and Taylor Belzo.
Connor Worth is now at the plate for Tidewater Phillies with 2 on. Ryan Gocio in the on-deck circle. Still just 1 hit for Tidewater. They've been out hit 4-1, trail 2-1 on the scoreboard. Off the big blow from Zahir Barzum. They're going to have him run a rundown, throw over to third in time for the out.
Great play there.
Nice job from Mason Barth.
Bar Jam, the rare Florida product playing on this Midwest team, so it's interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, Avery and I were discussing. He goes to Christopher Columbus High School. We were trying to figure out what the mascot was right before he just ends up belting one over the wall.
I believe that's in Miami as well.
So now going to be 2 down and a 2-0 count to Worth.
Good pitch
Slips
there.
Yeah, nice job. Not the breaking ball. Make it 2-1.
Inside corner there.
So I know you're going to have your hands full these next few days with future games. Obviously, part of the construction of Team Georgia, so I know you guys are awfully excited about that. Going to be hard for you not to kind of bounce around and do what you've normally done, which is kind of take in all these guys and kind of just focus on this Georgia group?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Last year I was baby shooter a little bit, and I was able to run around and just get a lot of the guys and just take advantage of really just seeing a bunch. And this year I really would love to focus on our guys here in Georgia as much as possible. I think our squad that we put together for the 16U especially has a chance to really have a really impressive week. I think BP could be one of the loudest things you're going to see in this week throughout any team that's coming. It should be an interesting week for us, and I'm just excited. My first time putting a team together with Hudson. It's an exciting time for us. I'm extremely anxious about the week. I want it to go well. I want everybody to have a really good time, and it's a huge week for these kids. August 1st is right around the corner, so it's going to be a busy week for them, and just excited for the opportunities that we can create at an event like this.
Full count now for Barth against Worth. Yeah, this will be the absolute place to be over the next 5 days, Wednesday through Sunday. Sunday will be a little bit more subdued as we just have the Future Games championship game, but there'll be activity nonetheless everywhere as that one goes back foul.
That was the weirdest thing. So that foul ball straight back, and we had something hit the trailer at the same exact time there. So that felt really weird. But yeah,
we almost had a ball hit the camera right before the pitching change when Collins exited and Barth came in to replace him. We had a foul ball that nearly came back and hit our camera. Full count.
Yeah, had some parents asking me yesterday that I was risking my life holding video up behind home plate, fingers all in the net and everything. Like, got to risk it for the biscuit, I guess.
That's right.
Got to get the good stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Risky business, though.
Oh, holds back. It's going to walk him, so a 2-out walk.
Bases loaded. Oh, no, 2 on now. Throw down the third, excuse me.
Yep, so we got 2 on, and here comes Goshio, and some dark clouds starting to pull in there from left field. Would love to see if we can get this one in without any delays. We all start turning our attention to the next few days and the future games. I asked Hudson Graham about this the other day, who he was really thinking might be that player that pops on the Georgia roster, somebody we're not talking about right now. A.J. Rice was a name that I know is really kind of circling. Do you have anybody that was maybe kind of like, hey, I think this guy could get in and make some noise?
There's a ton of guys, but at the top, Drew Harmon, I think, is a guy who's been really good this summer. He's a guy who knows how to pitch. He's up to 91 this week as well. Walked the first guy, hit a guy, then turned around and struck out 8 straight. Really knows how to pitch, wants the ball. I think he's a guy who's pitching against Florida who can have a really good showing, gets a tough lineup. On the bat side of things, I think Will Richardson could be really good this week. I think a guy like Branson Crawford, who we're really high on in the class, the #1 catcher, but somebody who didn't play a lot in the spring and has really just turned it on quickly in the summer. I think he could show out. The tools are really loud. He's going to have a great BP round. Ethan England, another one, recent decommitted from Georgia Southern, can have a really good showing this week as well. There's guys throughout. Martin Shelar, we talk about him a ton. That could be the loudest BP I've seen from an incoming junior ever at this event. He's going to be taking some hacks. That's going to be loud. I've seen some prestigious shots from him as well. Keon Johnson, Deion Cole. It's just the list goes on. It should be a fun week.
Martin Shelar is funny. Grayson Rosen did one of his extra bases with him, and he asked him kind of his favorite current player in MLB and his all-time favorite, and he said he really likes Barry Bonds and Trevor Bauer, which makes you think like,
interesting.
Okay, this guy's got a little bit of an edge to him.
Yeah, he's got some swag to him for sure. I think we'll see Hilby might be the most swagged out player of the week, I would imagine. But nothing wrong with that. Look good, play good.
That's right.
So, and he does that often. Guy I'm excited to see him really high on. Trevor Condon as well. We know about him a lot. Will Myhand. I could talk about the whole roster.
Branson Crawford feels like he's been around for 10 years now.
It's
He's at everything. He did some of the underclassmen events last summer. He was at preseason All-State.
He was.
It just seems like he's all over the place. His team, the Dream, plays here quite a bit during the summer and the fall months. So he's a guy who certainly is no stranger to being a LakePoint Sports. So he's going to probably be among the guys who's really going to feel like he's at home when he's here the next few days.
Absolutely. It should be great. Chip Glorowski, guy we love as well, really big prep baseball guy.
All those Georgia Jackets.
Been looking forward to this event for as long as you can remember. This was one of his biggest goals of the spring, and he did it. Another guy did that, Gino Worowski, another Jackets guy, really put a lot of pressure on himself to be good this spring to try to earn an invite to this event. And here, sure enough, here we are this week, and he'll be here. So.
And they'll, of course, be joined by Luke Nikowski, one of their teammates in that Georgia Jackets team. So
four total Jackets players, representing the state well. Ryan Williams has that team pretty locked in with a lot of good talent on that 16U Georgia Jackets American team.
A lot of fun, too, because they've come up together. You know, they've kind of grown together.
Played together.
And reached this kind of level together has to be really cool, not just for, for Ryan and that Jackets program, but for those guys to kind of feel like, we've been through this together and we're growing together. And maybe it for Mason Barth. We've got the Wasps coming in here. They're circling us. Maybe not looking at the weather forecast, realizing we're running low on time as we're in the third inning. So, of course, this being a championship game and barring a run rule, we have to play all 7 innings. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier what we'll be doing for future games from a broadcast standpoint. So for tomorrow's workout day, you'll be able to join us during the 10:30 and noon windows, and we'll have 4 fields going on at once with workout action, and have a cast of prep baseball coaches, scouting directors, players joining us here over those windows, and then we'll have game action for you on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll be showing 3 games at once, and then Sunday that afternoon we'll be doing the junior feature games championship game, and then on Monday we will remember how to breathe and get back to life. 1-0 is the count to Stubbe. Swings through that, 82.9 for strike 1.
It's been a really good week overall here at the 17U National Championship. Canesman West looking to three-peat across 15, 16, 17 with a Midwest team winning a championship here this summer.
Technically, Canes also won MPI as well, so they've been.
Yeah, we can add that in there as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So they've been having a hot summer. The Midwest is on one.
That's right.
Oh, there it is. There's the delay.
All right, so we're going to be under a lightning delay now, unfortunately. 2-1 lead for Canes Midwest as Mason Barth kind of summed up everything for us as he sighed as he walked off the field. But we'll join you as soon as we can, provide you updates along the way. But we're going to have to take a break, and we'll be under a weather delay here in the 17U National Championship Final. Rain, rain, go away, or more like lightning, lightning, go away. We're finally back here at the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney along with Prep Baseball, Georgia's Ian Smith. 2-2 is our score right now. Tidewater Phillies and Canes Midwest all notched up. We have a pitching change, of course, for Canes Midwest after that long, long layoff.
Elijah Bennett, I believe. On
Yep,
the mound
Elijah Bennett is now on the mound for them.
They've had some interesting jersey choices this week, and a lot of people wearing different numbers at different times. So it's been hard to keep up with the roster this week.
Yeah, our own Grayson Rosen was over there talking to their coach, and apparently there was a lot of mishaps on the lineup that was the roster that was submitted. So we actually got the real roster in place before this thing started. So
okay,
we came with this one. We came correct for the championship game. So we may not have gotten it done right for them for Canes Midwest throughout this event, but we got it right for the championship game. Make sure they're taken care of here as they're working on trying to walk out of here with a ring, but they're all notched up at 2-2. Tidewater Phillies here in the top of the third inning.
Isaiah Nolan at the plate, really interesting player, uncommitted 2025 out of Tennessee. Decent tools, great frame. Good swing there.
Yeah, gets a hold of that, sends that in the right field on the run. Is going to camp underneath it, though, and make the out. So after a long layoff, we get to take another break. Still tied at 2-2. You're watching the 17U National Championship Final.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
We are all tied up 2-2 in the 17U National Championship Final. We went from a pitching change for Canes Midwest after the long layoff, and now we are going to do the same thing for the Tidewater Phillies as they'll now turn things over to Coddington on the mound. Mason Barth is going to lead things off for Canes Midwest this inning. He'll be followed by Landon Fry and Taylor Belza.
That's a 2-3-4 for the Canes Midwest as they look to break this open here in the third.
Parker Coddington from Norfolk Academy 2025, 6 foot 200 pounder.
Barth walked off the field at the rain delay, quite frustrated off the mound.
Yeah,
so
he wasn't happy.
Looking for a barrel here as he steps at the plate here on the bottom of the third.
Yeah, the Notre Dame commit, none too pleased to be giving up as he came in relief and keeping his team in this game, and now a chance to see what he can do at the plate. Him and his 104-mile-an-hour exit velo is what we've got on the Prep Baseball profile. Bat speed north of 83.
Some easy velo here on the mound. Coming out of the hand really well with some good arm side life.
I talk about this, I think, on almost every broadcast, but I love being able to kind of, look at what the major league guys do, and then you look at the numbers that we get from these kids. Is that's 90.6 off the bat, right back at the pitcher, throws the first for the out. To kind of correlate it, right? I mean, obviously there's a difference between a guy getting 600-plus ABs in a year and averaging a bat speed of north of 80 miles an hour and somebody who's doing it within a showcase environment. But I think it's got to be a cool thing for these players to be able to look and be like, oh, yeah, my bat speed's like north of what Giancarlo Stanton produces on StatCast.
It's crazy.
Here's Landon Fry, the third baseman. Landon, an Indiana commit of R. Nelson Snyder, Fort Wayne High School. Landon working the mustache. I was talking to
Great
Avery about
mustache.
this. I mean, it's somewhat jarring, I think, because you get so used to being around kids that are, 14, 15, 16, and that time between 16 and 17/18, a lot of growth is had during that time period, and we get to see it during the 17U National Championships when some of these games can be brought to you by Gillette. That one gets away from the catcher. But I think that might be the best mustache I've seen all week.
It's great.
It already looks like he's ready for the College World Series.
Yeah, got the playoff stash ready. Just need it for bracket play today.
That's
That's
right.
That's what it was for. I had to get ready.
2-2. Fry's going to be followed by Taylor Belza, the Auburn commit behind the plate. Oh, rips that one back foul. We are scheduled to play 7 innings, as this is a championship game. Comes a 2-2. Skies the off-speed back foul.
Concourse starting to get busy as players start rolling in to check in for the future games this week.
Yeah, seen a number of them out there collecting their jerseys and walking away happy as they see the new designs that we've got laid out for this crop. It's like a little bit different than last year when everybody kind of had the black and white uniforms with there was really not a lot of differentiating between states aside from the words across the front. Looks cool, but I know it was a little bit of a headache for those of us trying to figure out who was who on the field.
Absolutely.
So I'll be interested to see what these guys look like all suited up as we get things started with workout day tomorrow. And then again, gameplay on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Skies that one into center field on the run, camps underneath it. He's got it for the out. And of course, we'll wrap things up on Sunday with the Junior Future Games Championship.
Should be an exciting week all around. Great baseball, tons of college coaches. We had 375 last year. I think that number will be exceeded this year. The craziest part was just not being able to walk through the concourse.
Yeah.
Just full of coaches. Like, you can't move.
Yeah, it was a bit of a headache the last few years when we were trying to broadcast games out of the Scout Tower. I know it kind of drove some of the coaches crazy. We'd kind of camp up in the corner and kind of take things over. But now within our studio, we're able to kind of get away from things and a little more self-contained, so it'd be a little bit better for everybody involved. That's 90 off the bat. Skies that one into left field. Camps underneath that for the out. Through another half an inning, we're tied up 2-2 from LakePoint Sports. We'll be back shortly.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere? And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Eli Bennett out on the mound for another inning of work as we're all notched up at 2-2 in the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney, Prep Baseball Georgia's Ian Smith with you. Cam Tellisfin, Keegan Hessler, and Trey Campos at the plate for Tidewater Phillies in this top of the 4th inning. Sun's actually starting to peek out.
A little bit.
Take a half an hour break there, I think it was, for lightning delay, maybe a little bit longer. Fabulous Stash makes its way to third base, and we'll get things started here on the top of the 4th. Tellisfin, the Old Dominion commit, watches that in for a strike. 6'4", 215-pounder. So I mentioned the bat speed, and I think I've kind of gotten caught up a lot of times looking at that just because some of the numbers are somewhat eye-popping.
Yeah.
If you're looking at one metric where you kind of use that as your baseline understanding of a player, and talking about from a position player, do you have that thing that you gravitate towards?
I think max EV is something I look forward to, especially at a younger level, how hard somebody can hit the ball. Average EV as well is huge. I mean, because you're seeing these guys. I mean, granted, having a place like LakePoint where you can see 10 or 15 at-bats over a summer of a guy, where you can get get the data from every at-bat. You know, you're seeing these average exit velocities. You're putting together these data points for these guys. I think that's a big thing I'm looking at here. If you hit the ball hard, it's a big start for you. Bat speed obviously is something you want to look at, but you can max out that in a showcase environment where it looks more outlandish than it is. You need to know if that game's going to play in game. You know, if you can get to the barrel in game. A guy like Deon Cole, we talk about a lot. He was hitting balls with wood at MPI at 105, 106. You know, and that's a huge thing. You know, as an incoming junior, being able to do that with a wood bat is something that you're going to gravitate towards almost every time.
So you say a guy maximizing that for a showcase environment. Is that because he knows that he's going to be getting a certain kind of pitch, so he's going to be a little bit more geared towards how the swing is going to be?
And you know those environments where you want to just blow it up. You want to blow the gun up. You want to blow the track man up. Like, those are your times to shine. And it's huge. Like, we'll see some outlandish numbers during BP this year. I'm sure we'll have some 105s, some 107s. You know, like seeing these kids swing with wood off a should be a perfect pitch from the hack attack. It should be quite interesting to watch.
Sacrifice bunt.
Great bunt.
Yeah, and he ends up legging it out. So we're going to have runners at first and second. Nice job by Hessler. So nobody out. They will now turn things over to Trey Campos, the center fielder. Campos wearing his Mid-Atlantic Future Games get up in the scoreboard photo.
Love that. Ooh, another good bunt here, back to back.
I mean, gets it down. He's going to be safe as he slides into first, and they had the bases loaded with nobody out. And small ball getting it done here for Tidewater Phillies in the top of the 4th as they try to break this 2-2 tie.
Two really good bunts there, back to back.
Is that like the ultimate brag when you play here at LakePoint Sports, is to have your Future Games?
I think so.
Profile photo.
Have to have that.
Yeah.
You know, like you're a guy here already.
I don't know what more you could like. What would be a bigger brag point on the scoreboard? You know, obviously you could put up a big exit velo and see that up there, but I think from when you step in the box, something shows and everybody's like, "Oh, okay." Just seeing that
Future gamer.
Yeah, that uniform with a state or a region written across it, as we've got Pacific Northwest and Select, and that's a big point of bragging right there.
Looks the bunt, 3 straight batters.
Yeah, that would have been pretty impressive. We mentioned it, Avery and I did. You look at these Tidewater Phillies statistics; these guys can all fly. They're all running, sub 760 seemingly, so they can get it done with this brand of baseball.
Bennett a little out of sorts here of the back-to-back bunts, missing the zone in the first 2 pitches.
So Eli Kraft at the plate with the bases loaded. 5'7", 135-pound second baseman shows bunt himself, pulls back. Make his way down to first base, and we've now got a 3-2 game.
Still no outs, and we got a little bit of a visit on the mound here.
So Kraft will give way to Jamison Dick, and then we're back to the top of the order. That's going to do it for Eli Bennett, so we're going to have a pitching change for Canes Midwest. you know, I'm sure this is a little bit, we saw Mason Barth walk up frustrated. I'm sure there was a little bit of that throughout the entire roster when you start thinking about, okay, we're on the last day of a long tournament. Pitching is a commodity at this point. How do you get through this game? We got a guy that was, you know, keeping us well within this thing, and now we got to watch him exit and hope we can piece this thing together and bring home a championship.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Trying to call all hands on deck here to close this out. Just need 3 more innings out of these arms. Pitching here, who we have here on the mound now?
I'm going to pull up our full roster for Canes Midwest, and this is going to be number 18. So we're going to have, this is a bit of a puzzle for us to try to figure out here. Like Ian was saying, that it's been a bit of a puzzle in itself trying to figure out the rosters we've gone throughout this event. Seeing a number 18 on here. There's nobody listed on the roster they provided us at number 18. A little bit hard to read as well.
Huh. Not a single one, huh?
No one is number 18 on the roster.
Love that.
And the scoreboard itself is not updated. They have number 9 Major.
That is not Majors here.
Well, nonetheless, right back to third, throws to home for 1 out. He's going to hold on to it. Nice job by Taylor Bells. Nearly throws back to third, but he's going to smartly hold on to the baseball and be 1 down.
I believe that's actually Matthew Major making that play at third. We were just mentioning.
Well, say his name and he appears. We just got to do that with Matthew Majors.
Hit an absolute nuke yesterday to left center field.
Yeah, no, number 18 listed on any of the rosters, actually, that we have for Canes Midwest. I believe that might be Landon Fries. That one's going into left field, but the run's going to score. Now 3-2 is the lead for Tidewater.
Now 2 outs, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, I believe that was actually Landon Fry that got it on the mound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't see the mustache.
Yeah, well, now we see it, and it's going to check out that baseball. It is indeed white and round. Let's go ahead and play ball.
That is indeed Landon Fry.
So apologies. We hate to keep harkening back on it, but we did have a lot of issues with trying to figure out and sort out the rosters going into this. Try not to have that take away from the viewing experience. Pumps that in for a strike. Nice off speed. This is Thomas Conrad. He'll be followed by Connor Worth. 4-2 is the Tidewater lead. Oh, ropes that 94 off the bat down the left field line.
Just foul.
So a couple runs plated for Tidewater Phillies in this half an inning. Both teams with 4 hits apiece. Belza blocks that. Biggest blow, of course, so far coming off the bat of Zahir Barjam with a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the second. You know, this Canes Midwest team can slug. We saw them, I think, miss 3 home runs during the semifinal game, all shots to the warning track.
Yeah, they can definitely hit. It's been all week, 1 through 9. There's power at the bottom, there's power at the top. Brandon Logan at the top of the lineup can really hit, can really run, plays an impact center field. It's been a really impressive week for this team.
Misses high, run the count full. Landon Fry, the Indiana commit, on the mound. Swing and a miss, goes down on strikes for the second out. One of those interesting scenarios where we've got a guy with his primary positions listed as third base and shortstop and don't even have any metrics at the top of his page on him as a pitcher. That's in for a strike. You got to go down and find him a little bit further, though, and you can. Last ones we have are back from June.
Last year.
Last year. Last changeup numbers we have on him are for 2021. Last changeup and curveball numbers from March of 21. Yeah, last June, June 8th of 23 is when we've got him at a fastball velo of 82. He's also another one of these players that's listed to be coming back from the Prep Baseball Cup, which will take place in September after we all get back for the All-American game. That one's going to give the third on the cut across, makes the throw in time to get out of it. But Tidewater Phillies, they have a 4-2 lead, and we will be right back from LakePoint Sports.
Just burgers? It's just boring. Get your sausage on and keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
This summer, LakePoint Sports is partnering with Johnsonville to highlight positive actions, good sportsmanship, and selfless acts associated with those youth sports that we love. Any and everyone is encouraged to share these moments, so whether you're the one who spotted the activity, the one performing the act, or the recipient of the good deed, there is something in it for everyone, and Johnsonville might just reward you for your behavior and or participation. So use a QR code on screen for more information on how you can make a submission, or go to LakePointSports.com or our social channels to access the submission form. And it's all about positivity and positive messages. And here's one from Joe Santolano, Kane Southeast coach, with some wise words for his players.
When you recognize the biggest thing and the biggest attribute you're going to have as a person is to be there for somebody. That's what life is about, and that's why there's team sports. When people are struggling, you pride yourself on being there. Hit it to me, give it to me, I got your back. That was a chance to say, I know you're strong, I got you. Throw it to me, I got you. I'm in charge here. Don't worry, pick them up, boom, give it, I got your back. Me and Bill, that's I got your back. I can make that play and throw them out.
We're back at LakePoint Sports. 4-2 is the lead for Tidewater Phillies over Canes Midwest in the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney along with Ian Smith from Prep Baseball Georgia with you. Gotta get those yawns out of the way, man. We got 5 days ahead of us with the feature games. There's gonna be no rest for the weary as we.
I'm almost out of here today, and I'll have a nice little couple hours of rest, and then we'll get back in. I went pretty crazy this week for 17U. I wanted to really blow it out of the water as much as I could, get as much coverage as I could. So it's the last few weeks of the summer, so I want to go as hard as possible, you know. I was just talking to some players, and I told them that I went to 139 games this spring, and they were losing their minds. On that same note, talking to some players yesterday, some players on East Cobb Astros saying they were playing their 61st game of the summer yesterday. So that means some of these kids in the state of Georgia started playing in February. Maybe they made it far in the playoffs. They've been playing 100 games.
Wow.
And we're just in July, you know. Like,
that's incredible.
What a run some of these kids have been on this summer, and some of the high-level kids who have to go to every showcase. It's insane. We got a hit batter there, right on the hand.
Well, so there'll be one aboard here to start things off in the bottom of the fourth. Yeah, you always talk about when the guy's making that transition from, you know, the college game to playing in the minors. How's he gonna weather the storm? Some of these guys at the college game might actually be a relief after
honestly
the amount of games they're playing in high school and travel.
Like some of these kids that get drafted out of high school and then straight into, say, complex ball and in the pros, and you see a lot of bad results. These kids have played so much baseball over the year, and then they get thrown into Florida or Arizona in August, and you got to go out there and perform in 110-degree weather, and it's like that's where a lot of these guys seem to struggle coming out of the draft, but it's for good reason. You're playing so many games as an 18-year-old.
So Zahir Barjam, last time we saw him, he launched one over the left field wall for a 2-run home run.
Way gone.
Lone runs so far for Canes Midwest. He's got another opportunity to do some damage here with Matthew Major at first base after the hit by pitch. 2-0's the count.
Missing the zone a little bit here to start the second. Hit the first guy, 3-0 here.
So now a 3-0 count to Barjam. As here currently uncommitted, I have a feeling that's not going to last much longer for the 2025. 5'10", 187-pounder, 13th ranked shortstop in Florida in the class. Well, that's in for a strike. He's going to be back this week for senior future games, so an opportunity for him to show out with a number of 2025s. Love the approach to this. Was talking to Hunter Martin from Prep Baseball Tennessee about, the fact that you have a couple different kinds of guys that are going to be playing this. There's some who have been overlooked. There's some who have developed later as players, and I think this is going to be a real opportunity for these guys. They may not hear those calls coming from the Power 5 programs and the ones that are, perennial contenders for a College World Series championship. That there are real opportunities to play this game at the next level, and I think you're going to see a lot of those 25s get that chance when all is said and done out of the senior future games.
I think you're absolutely right on that. Bar Jam will be a member of Team Southeast, so I'll be helping coach this weekend, along with some Georgia players in South Carolina, as well as Florida, South Carolina, Georgia came together for the roster.
Yeah, interesting then how things were pieced together. Tennessee going to be part of the Deep South.
Yep, so that should be interesting. Looking forward to the Tennessee matchup in the 16U future games.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great players certainly in that matchup.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about the arm that Tennessee's throwing, so I'm excited for our guys to see that. So looking forward to that.
So we've got runners at first and second as we now turn things over to Sarkey. Landon Sarkey, the left fielder for Canes Midwest, trying to get this deficit cut a little bit here as they trail 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth.
This Canes team was trailing in the sixth inning yesterday and came back to pull it together for a win. So they know how to win when it gets to crunch time. So chance to snag a run here and maybe even tie this game up here in the fourth.
Landon Sarkey from Hanover Central. He's got a 1-0 count, 5'10", 165-pounder. Shows bunt. It's going back foul.
Good charge there.
Tried not to look too much of the forecast the next few days. I know rain is a potential almost every day.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm not sure how hot it's going to get, though. I can deal.
No, yeah. Oh, great bunt.
Yeah, absolutely great bunt. They're going to have the bases loaded. Small ball is certainly in vogue here in the 17U National Championship final.
I haven't seen 3 bunts like that in a few weeks, I feel like. Back to back to back, 3 straight bunt hits.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw a few shirts this summer where it said how to bunt, and it said number 1, don't, number 2, hit a home run.
Granted, I did see a bunt this week from probably the freakiest athlete that was in attendance this week, Jonah Williams, outfielder for Wow Factor Nation.
Yep.
5-star uncommitted safety as well, one of the top uncommitted football players in the country. He had 3 run times for me down the line. 2 were infield singles and a bunt single. 401, 391, and let me add here to finish, 3-7 flat.
Wow.
6'4", 205. Looked like he was jogging down the line and put together double plus run times.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, and I've heard he's also 94 off the mound as well from the left side. So, yeah, it's kind of the definition of what you look for in a premier athlete.
Sure, he likes doing that without pads on. That's right back at the pitcher. Throws to home for 1, throws to first.
Oh, back-to-back
for another
picks.
Great job defensively by Tidewater Phillies. And, man, get the leg kick there from catcher. And that's worth the highlight.
Man.
Yeah, that's worth the highlight moment there for sure.
Great play.
So getting it done with the glove as they lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the fourth.
Tidewater winning their last game. Oh, excuse me, I believe, yes, winning their last game on a walk-off, or on a great play at the plate.
So now I got Purnell Whitsitt with 2 down. Canes Midwest going to kick themselves for sure if they can't break through here.
Yeah, this will be huge right now to get out of this inning with no runs scored for the Tidewater Phillies. Huge double play there.
1-0's the count.
Starting to see a bunch of FG hats filtering in behind home plate here. Some here to the left, some right behind home. Everybody grabbing their gear.
Yeah, the logo looks great.
excited to really push the new brand, the new logo this year.
Connington with the 1-1.
Ooh,
Sends that one back. Foul
great
defensive
pitch.
swing.
Jammed him.
If Whitsitt gets on, Will Coleman in the on-deck circle, and then it's back to the top of the order and Brandon Logan.
Can't say enough good things about Brandon Logan. Really love the profile. Chance for 5 tools. Also a 3-star safety, 3-sport athlete.
Wow.
Can really play. Indiana, man. They really know how to produce some high-level baseball players at the top. Andrew Wiggins, Max Clark, Colson Montgomery. Recently the list is quite substantial.
Hogan Denny was their Gatorade Player of the Year this year.
Hogan Denny as well.
Yeah, and the Indiana Hoosiers have done a fantastic job as he's swinging and miss, goes down on strikes.
Pitch.
Talk a little bit more about when we get back. 4-2 is the lead for Tidewater Phillies. You're watching the 17U National Championship Final.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Go back to LakePoint Sports, where Landon Fry and his 80-grade mustache are back on the mound for Canes Midwest. Cory McCartney along with Riley Klingman, who got a 4-2 lead for Tidewater Phillies in this 17U National Championship Final. Ryan Gocio, Wes Stubby, and Isaiah Nolan will be at the plate for Tidewater Phillies this half an inning. And Riley, I think that's a half an inning where Canes Midwest are going to end up biting themselves if they can't come back and win this game to have the bases loaded. And then just some fantastic defensive work there from Tidewater Phillies to turn the double play with the throw back to home and the throw to first to get out of that. I mean, that's the kind of a moment that defines a championship game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, at the end of the day, Canes, like you said, got a couple guys on base. They got a couple bunts down. They drew a couple walks, but a big grounded double play by Eli Bennett that kind of just ended the momentum for them in that inning. And Tidewater right now is just doing the better job of taking advantage with runners on base right now. Yeah,
not getting it done by any sexy means, but they have certainly pieced things together with some small ball to lead 4-2. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, the big blow from this game is that one is going into the outfield. It's going to be caught right on the edge there by the second baseman. They have 4 hits. I mean, they've gotten things done with small ball, and that's in reality how they've taken this lead. You got Canes Midwest with a 2-run jack off the bat of Zahir Barzum, but that's been the loud moment that we've had in this game. But you look at the scoreboard, they're not the team winning. It's a Stubby at the plate, and he's going to take that one on the arm. So hit by pitch to Wes Stubby, and now here comes Isaiah Nolan. Tidewater Phillies looking to extend this a little bit more and try to potentially put this thing out of reach. Some pressure on these Canes Midwest bats. We talked about how explosive this offense can be. I mean, there are commits all up and down this roster. You see a whole lot of recognizable Power 5 schools when you start looking at that lineup. They can certainly do some damage, but they have a deficit on their hands right now, trailing 4-2 here in the top of the 5th. Watches that in for ball 1.
Yeah, it just feels like this Canes team has kind of ran out of pitching. I mean, I think they thought that their starting pitcher this afternoon, Lucas Collins, was going to go a little bit longer than he did, the lefty, but he just couldn't find the strike zone early on.
Oh, that is 100 miles an hour off the bat. And that is going to be back, track, and gone. Man, that was an absolute blast. 100-mile-an-hour exit velo. Earning the celebration at home. You see them going buck wild. Tidewater Phillies extending this lead. Wanted a loud moment for them. Riley, we just got it.
Yeah, we definitely just did. I mean, Isaiah Nolan flew out to left field kind of in front of the warning track in his previous at-bat during this contest. But on that pitch, Corey, he didn't miss it. He was all over a 75-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch from Landon Fry and hit it 100 miles an hour up on out of here. Line drive homer over the fence.
Yeah, the North Point Christian, Tennessee, uncommitted 2025. All 6'5", 198 pounds of him just went ballistic on that ball, and they lead 6-2 here at the top of the fifth. And that was an absolute shot. Not what Canes Midwest was looking for. We thought they were going to try to fight their way back into this when they had the bases loaded. And I still think we're going to look back on that defensive moment there with the hit back to another hit by pitch. With that bouncer back to Coddington on the mound, throws back to the plate to get one, then the throw to first to get the second. I mean, I think as much as we talk about these home runs, and that was a massive shot there from Nolan, I think that's going to be the defining play of this game. And so far, it's got them a 6-2 lead, and it's got Canes Midwest scrambling for an answer here in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, if we go back to that double play, you kind of talked about the front half of it when the pitcher threw it back to Taylor Bells at home plate, but I don't think we give enough credit to the first baseman, Will Coleman, on that play, making that scoop over at first place, because it was a bang-bang play, and the runner would have been safe if he had not scooped that ball up.
Skies that one into center field on the run, able to track underneath that for the out, so that'll be 2 down.
That fly ball was just a little bit easier to handle for Trey Campos out there than that shot off the bat of Isaiah Nolan. The left fielder didn't even move.
Excuse me, that was the first out of the inning. Thought we had that is the second out. Sometimes our scoreboard's not working as quick as the mind does, and kind of has you play tricks on yourself a little bit there. So it's going to be Trey Campos, Eli Kraft in the on-deck circle. 2 more runs plated for Tidewater Phillies, and this off the bat of Isaiah Nolan.
You think Landon Fry looks more like Spencer Strider out there on the mound, or more like Paul Skeens?
I think it's a little more Paul Skeens, and I don't know if it's the black and yellow that's doing that for me, but I think it's a little more Skeens than it is Strider. Strider's is more Old West.
Yeah.
Throw across from third in time to get out of it. Canes Midwest, though, they find themselves trailing 6-2. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty mic.
We've got a 6-2 lead for Tidewater Phillies over Canes Midwest in this 17U National Championship final. Cory McCartney along with Riley Klingman. And man, we feels like we saw Tidewater Phillies just kind of take over this game in the last 2 halves and innings when you think about the defensive work there to get a big double play with the bases loaded and that big shot off the bat of Isaiah Nolan. And they are kind of cruising along here. Let's see, Riley, if Canes Midwest can find an answer.
Yeah, I mean, last inning, Canes Midwest got part of the job done, getting the bases loaded, getting ducks on the pond, per se, whatever way you want to say it. But Canes Midwest ended up hitting a ground ball right back to the pitcher, and then Tidewater turned a double play. But, I mean, I don't think the Canes are out of it, especially if they can get men on base, possibly get the bases loaded again, and then actually complete the second part of the job, which is to get runners in.
Yeah, they've got plenty of firepower in this lineup, no doubt. We mentioned that there are very recognizable Division I logos all up and down when you start looking at the commitments. And Will Coleman going to try to get things started, and then it'll flip to the top of the order in Brandon Logan. Coleman, the third-ranked left-handed pitcher in Indiana in the class, 15th overall. He's 36th at his position. Obviously seeing him at the plate right now. We're got exit velos around 90, along with a bat speed of 75.8. You heard the praises of Brandon Logan, the Vanderbilt commit, who's in the on-deck circle when Ian Smith was with me in previous innings. He's going to get his chance next. Coleman 0 for 1, sends that foul.
You would like to see Canes Midwest also take a better lot of ABs here in the bottom of the fifth, because when they had those bases loaded, it felt like Eli Bennett didn't really work the count at all. He kind of tried to jump on a fastball, and that came back to bite him. And when you have Tidewater in a position like they were in, with the bases juiced behind them defensively, you want to try to work the count as deep as you can. And I think Will Coleman's doing a phenomenal job here as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, he just got a piece of that to stay alive, so the count's full. Coddington attacks him here with another 3-2, and just misses, so he's going to have a leadoff walk, and we are back to the top of the order, and Brandon Logan. Logan 0 for 2, but no one's debating the potential of what he can do at the plate. 93-mile-an-hour exit velos, bat speed is 72, also runs a 6.6 360, so he puts that ball on the ground and certainly makes some magic happen. See what he can do here is trying to help Canes Midwest claw their way back into this thing in the bottom of the fifth.
I also think only being committed to Vanderbilt helps as well, you know?
Yeah, I think, you know, Ian and I were talking about the biggest flex I think you can have here playing at LakePoint Sports is to have your future games profile picture up on the scoreboard. I think the only thing would beat that was if they put your commitment logo up on the scoreboard when you stepped into the plate. Just had that Vanderbilt star up there with the V on it. I think you'd open some eyes no matter what when you stepped in when you're Brandon Logan. But obviously his reputation precedes him. We'll see what he can do here. Again, just trying to get men on base and see if they can make something happen, trying to make up a 4-run deficit here in the fifth inning. Well, Mrs. Hyde run it to 3-0. A guy with this kind of bat-to-ball skills and this kind of speed, despite the fact they need base runners, is he holding on 3-0, or does he have a green light if the pitch is good? He's going to hold, make it 3-1. Our own Preston Malcolm in the back there taking photos. 3-1 misses inside, so we're going to have back-to-back walks. Not exactly the game plan if you're Tidewater Phillies after taking a kind of a somewhat feeling commanding lead at 6-2. Start allowing you know, they say you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want the whole bag. You give the mouse a crumb, he wants the whole cookie, or whatever the vernacular is. Give him an inch, they want a mile. We feel like we're headed towards that with Canes Midwest here. If they just keep adding base runners, they could be within a swing of making this interesting ball game, if not a tie ball game.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head, Corey. I really like this mound visit though by Tidewater. The first runners get on base, the 9-hole and the leadoff hitter, and you have a really good hitter in Mason Barth coming up the shortstop who can do some damage for you. I also think it helps Lucas Collins to settle down a little bit because he's been dominating in this contest up until this point, really until last inning when he had that little bit of stressful pitches there, but Tidewater was able to get a big double play for him. So we'll see if he can get back in the zone, get a ground ball, get 2 outs, and be 1 out away from getting out of this jam for him.
When you were pitching and a coach would come out and have those mid-game conversations with you, did you often see it as like, okay, my leash is getting shorter, or did it feel more like an affirmation of him coming out there and being like, you know what, you can get through this, we believe in you? How did you kind of approach when you were getting in those mid-inning conversations? Yeah,
well, I'll just go ahead and kind of put myself in the situation of Lucas Collins. Whenever I would throw 2 walks and I would be missing the zone by quite a little bit, I would really get in my head mentally. So I feel like more for me in that situation, it was kind of a moment of affirmation to kind of just, like you said, like, hey, you got this, attack, get back in the zone. But I also felt like in the back of my head that it might have possibly been a short leash too, depending on where my pitch count was. And most of the time after the mound visit was over, if I would throw, 1 or 2 strikes, my confidence would go back up and I would start dialing it back in again.
Well, Mason Barth is finding Coddington's got that confidence back as there's an 0-2 count right now. Still searching for the first out. A dribbler right back to Coddington, throws the third. And man, this kid can play defense on the mound, I'll tell you that.
Pitchers are athletes too, Cory.
Yeah, well, Coddington certainly is, and he's got those PFP drills down to a science.
Yeah.
Nice job of knowing and understanding where the base runners are and understanding the situation and not just necessarily getting that easy out at first base, which I think, some guys, okay, I got to get in out. I can't not take advantage of this opportunity in this situation. I think you're seeing Coddington show some really heady play with the glove on the mound so far. Landon Fry at the plate now. Oh, that one's going to get away from him. Runners will both advance. Belza throws. Able to make the stop. Does Nolan at third.
Dangerous throw there by Belza. I almost say you just got to put that one in your pocket, because if that ball rolls down into left field, you'll have a runner coming in to score and then another runner making it to third base with 1 out in the 3-hole up for Canes Midwest. But I want to go back to that play at third base. Isaiah Nolan was looking like a first baseman on that stretch, and if he didn't make that quality stretch there, I don't know if Tidewater would have gotten that out.
Fry sends that one down the line. I apologize. It's actually Jamison Dick behind the plate. Taylor Belza is suiting up behind the plate for Canes Midwest, Auburn commit. Just talking about great catching, and all of a sudden going to one of the top backstops in the nation. Fry sends that one away. Landon Fry, third baseman, shortstop. You've seen him on the mound for Canes Midwest, trying to keep them in this game. 6-2, swinging through it. He's down on strikes. So now 2 down, and Landon Fry will give way to the affirmation Taylor Belza. He's getting a lot of airtime here. Mentioned it during his first AB, but if you go back through our LakePoint Sports social channels, we mic'd Taylor up during one of the summer events. The manners were strong with him and his interactions with home plate umpire, so I'm sure Auburn will be happy to have him. The first-ranked catcher in Ohio in 25, second overall in the class. Out of St. Ignatius. He's been here for feature games in the past. Pop time's down to 1:94. And we had him here last summer as part of Team Ohio. One count. Belza trying to help will his team back into this thing in the bottom of the 5th. Again, we will play all 7 innings, so time not a factor in this, just the frames remaining, and it's the bottom of the 5th. Another miss makes it 3-1.
Yeah, really good AB so far by Taylor Belza. Took 3 really close pitches on the outer half. All 3 were balls, and he's worked the count to 3-1. With Matthew Major, the extra hitter, 5-hole, lurking in that on-deck circle.
Swings through that one. I don't think he actually fought it off. 16-mile-an-hour exit velo on the foul ball. For anyone who's watched our past broadcast, we've had hit by pitches with higher exit velos in that swing that Belza just took for the foul ball. He's got a full count. Coddington fires, misses high. He's going to make his way down to first base.
Well, what do you know? Canes Midwest, kind of the same situation as last inning. Obviously, they had bases loaded with nobody out. But here they have bases loaded, 2 outs with the 5-hole coming up, an extra hitter. Matthew Major, and we'll see if he can get the job done to kind of bring his team back into this championship game, because we know that the Canes Midwest team has the firepower to do it.
Yeah,
1 for 1, excuse me, he is on the day. Teams need him to come through here, trailing 6-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Connington fires. He skies that one back foul.
Yeah, we'll see if Matthew Major can be that major difference maker
That's
here
right.
in this ball game, no pun intended.
Well, they certainly need some kind of a pick-me-up. See if the Tulane commit from Troy Christian High School in Alabama. I know, in Alabama, Ohio. I grew up right near Troy, saying it's in Alabama. Watches that one miss inside.
We all make mistakes. I got crossed up with Taylor Belza and Jamison Dick earlier, so.
Well, a 1-1 count to Major. Top-ranked third baseman in Ohio in the class, 13th overall.
If you're Major here with a 2-1 hitters count, are you looking for something away that you can drive into right field to possibly score 2 runs to make it a 2-run ball game, or are you just trying to have a competitive long AB?
I think you're trying to have a competitive long AB and force that pitcher into a mistake, right? I mean, I think, you know, with 2 down and 2 on here in the inning, you just want to try to make them work and try to see if you can get that pitch you're looking for instead of trying to force something.
Yeah, and also lurking in the on-deck circle is the guy that hit a 2-run homer.
That's right,
for Canes Midwest. So why not get him up with a bases-loaded opportunity? He's 1 for 1 with a massive 2-run homer that had a 98-mile-an-hour exit velo.
Yeah, Zahir Barjam in the on-deck circle, and we mentioned before, will be here the next few days for the Senior Future Game. So looking to jumpstart a big week for him personally. Misses inside, and now the bases are going to be loaded for Barjam as one walks in. Makes it 6-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. It's going to be it for Coddington. And the second mound visit will be the end of his outing here, as he's going to exit after throwing 61 pitches. Let's see where Tidewater Phillies go next. Get this number and figure out who's going to be on the mound. Number 3 steps up to the toes of rubber for him. I believe this is going to be Quentin Adams. This is either Quentin Adams or Trey Campos. They have 2 number 3s listed on their roster, which is, again, we kind of went into this one a little more hamstrung than we have been in the past with some other games, knowing exactly who we've got playing all over the place. This one's been a little bit more freewheeling as there was a quick turnaround as these teams have some massive rosters in class. The Tidewater Phillies roster on the Prep Baseball page has players from 2023 on it. So I have a feeling that Quentin Adams, who was the other number 3 who is listed as a 2023, probably does not have enough eligibility to still be playing. Could be wrong. So based on the numbers available to us, this should be Trey Campos. If it is, we got Campos with a fastball upwards of 93. Changeup 85, 86, curveball 81 to 83, and a slider in the 79 to 82 range.
Man, it looks like his spin rate is an average of almost 2,500 RPMs, which, I mean, I'll tell you right now, that'll play. I mean,
right.
Holy cow.
88-2 there. And this does appear to be Trey Campos, so.
He also kind of has a little deceiving arm angle. He's more of like a 3/4, almost sidearm type of guy, so I can't imagine the amount of run he gets on his fastball and his off-speed pitches, especially his changeup to right-handed hitters. And then he's also got a nice slider that's got a lot of bite to it. He probably has a lot of RPMs on that too, especially if his fastball's up near 2,500 average But then again, he's got to face a hitter in Zahir Barjam, who has already let a big fly happen in this contest back in the bottom of the second inning that opened the scoring for Canes Midwest.
So this figures to be a great matchup. Trey Campos, again, the James Madison commit, on the mound now, coming in relief, steps in with the bases loaded and 2 outs and a guy at the plate in Zahir Barjam, who hit a 2-run bomb in the second inning. Campos delivers, pumps that in for a strike right on the outside edge at nearly 90. Comes back with the 0-1. Misses with the off speed. Runs the count even.
Campos' highest fastball spin rate recorded by PBR is 25.86.
Wow.
So a guy that can absolutely bring the heat on the mound going to JMU.
Comes back 90 on the gun, 78.9 off the bat. So Barjam fouls that off to stay alive. You want defining moments in a game, a 1-2 count with a guy who's already hit 1 homer at the plate with the bases loaded. See if he does it this time, sends that one back foul. The opportunities for Canes Midwest are dwindling. This could be the last time we see this part of the order.
You also don't want, especially if you're Zahir Barjam, you don't want to get a big head either, because if you take that home run type of swing on a 1-2 count and you strike out, that's honestly worse than just putting the ball in play and seeing if something will happen.
He's got a 1-2 count. That one spikes away from the catcher. He's going to stay put, though. Jamison Dick tracks that down, sends it back to Campos.
I don't really know if I agree with that no send there, especially in a 6-3 game in the bottom of the 5th with your opportunities dwindling. I mean, I thought that ball got far away enough from Jamison Dick, and then Trey Campos kind of had a late reaction. I feel like Canes Midwest could have stolen a run there.
Well, they had a bases loaded opportunity. They could not come through earlier. Let's see what they do this time. Sends that one foul.
Great job by Barjam to stay alive on that devastating slider there, low and away. I don't even know how he really made contact with that. It almost looked like if it was going to not hit his bat, it would have ended up in the left-handed batter's box, but he did just enough to get a piece of it.
This will be the 7th pitch of the AB. Barjam with a rocket down the right side. 1 run's going to score. Here comes the second. Barjam makes his way to second base. Here comes the 3rd run. The throw home is going to be, hits the runner as Barjam makes his way to 3rd base. And we've got a tie ball game as Zahir Barjam, who hit a 2-run home run, comes through with a bases clearing triple. And man, that thing was magic off the bat, and Zahir Barjam was just causing all kinds of havoc on the base pass.
Yeah, that was an awesome AB by Zahir Barjam. Fouled off a lot of tough pitches from Trey Campos, but you could tell he was peppering that right side the entire AB, fouling every single baseball off that way. And on that pitch, he gets an off-speed pitch that's left over a little bit too much of the outer half, and he just makes really nice contact right down the right field line to tie this game up at 6 apiece. Beautiful piece of hitting.
Yeah, an advanced AB for a guy that, again, will be back here for the senior feature games the next few days, taking advantage of his opportunities.
Well, I just want to say that if nobody knows who Zahir Barjam is right now, they're going to know who he is going into the PBR future games when they look back at his stat line during this ball game against Tidewater Phillies.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic game without question.
You already know that there's a couple of scouts here too at this ball game because they're here for tomorrow and for the next couple days. And you know, a couple of guys who didn't have his name on their radar in terms of scouts definitely have his name on there now.
Yeah, he's going into the senior feature games with a red-hot bat without question. Certainly making his play for player of the game if Canes Midwest can get out of this with a victory. We're all tied up. We thought it was a matter of time. Canes Midwest, you kept giving them opportunities with that offense and that lineup. They were going to be able to make a difference, and they certainly have. We're all notched up.
Yeah, I was sitting behind home plate with our photographer, Tucker, in the second inning, and I was like, this is going to be a back-and-forth ball game, and here we are thinking that Tidewater has full control, and here comes Canes Midwest scratching back to tie the game.
Campos misses inside, counts now 3-1. Landon Sarkey now at the plate. Sarkey, the uncommitted Hanover Central outfielder, makes his way down to first base with a 2-out walk. We go from Sarkey to Eli Bennett, the DH. Bennett, another Indiana commit on this Canes Midwest squad. Saw him on the mound come in relief after the rain delay. Made his name for himself at the plate, where he's got exit velos around 100, bat speed north of 80.
The biggest frustration for coaches is when guys come into ball games and they're not throwing strikes. Campos kind of let Zahir hang around in that AB after getting ahead, and then there he walks Sarkey to put runners on the corners for probably one of the better Canes Midwest hitters in their lineup, like you alluded to with his stat line.
Well, Eli Bennett going to see if he can put his team out in front. Got 2 runners on, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 5th. We've seen Canes Midwest come through with 4 runs in this inning. The home team, they're going to have their say regardless, as this is going to go 7 innings. Campos with a 2-0. It's right down the middle for a strike. $15 pitches so far for Campos in this relief outing. Swings through that one for a strike. Two count, 2 down, 2 on. Bennett's 0 for 2, and runners taken off. Rain starting to come down here again in Emerson. It's going to run the count full as he misses, nearly hits him on the foot.
Another quality AB by this Canes Midwest team here in this inning. And it's just great to see the Canes aren't trying to jump on a fastball early in the count. They're knowing that both of these Tidewater pitchers aren't, filling up the zone very consistently, and they're taking advantage.
Goes down on strikes, does Eli Bennett, so able to get out of it, but not before. Canes Midwest answers, got a 3-run triple from Zahir Barzo, and we are all notched up at 6-6 as we roll along at LakePoint Sports.
Next. Stop.
We got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere? And it needs to run smooth, like super, 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 super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again? Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
We are back here at LakePoint Sports, a 6-6 ball game in this, the 17U National Championship Final from the Audi Marietta Field here in the Baseball Village. Cory McCartney along with Riley Klingman. Landon Fry is on the mound again for another inning of work for Canes Midwest. Got Eli Kraft at the plate for Tidewater Phillies, and he will be followed by Jamison Dick in the top of the order with Thomas Weston. We saw Canes Midwest find a way to certainly answer any doubts whether or not they could get their way back into this game, notching things up in the bottom of the fifth there off the bat of Zahir Barzone with a 3-run triple to add to his 2-run home run. And now see if Tidewater Phillies can mount a response of their own, lead things off with a hit by pitch for Jamison Dick, and now we're back to the top of the order and Thomas Weston.
Yeah, one of the biggest things you always hear, even at the major league level, is if there's a big inning before your sticks come in to hit, you also want to get guys on base and create havoc. You don't want to have a 1-2-3 inning, because then it kind of demoralizes a group, especially late in the game.
Storm clouds are starting to come in here around the LakePoint Sports Complex. See if we can avoid any further delays. We already had one around half an hour. Some lightning in the area.
It's kind of been the story of this tournament, too. A lot of rain off and on.
Yeah, we seem to have our tournaments that are a little bit more hexed by weather than others. We've gone a long time this summer without a lot of weather issues for tournaments, and the 17U National Championship has certainly not been of that ilk. It's had its challenges. This is the final game of it, so it's somewhat fitting that it would be delayed by lightning. 1-2 count. Sends that foul. Glances back at the runner, does Fry. Comes the 1-2. Rips that one. 82 off the bat, and that was all kinds of trouble if it would have stayed fair.
That ball was ticketed for the left field corner
It
if that dropped in. Oh, Tidewater Phillies player. Looks like he might have went into the bag a little awkwardly there.
May have an injury issue here at second base.
It's either that or you would think possibly cramping.
Yeah, it has not been especially hot the last few days. So, like I said, the rain has dissipated a little bit. It was scorching hot here a couple weeks ago, and temperatures nearly at 100. It's kind of fallen off a little bit here the last few days. See if we get the base runner remains down. He's going to be helped off the field, getting up a little bit gingerly.
It's Eli Kraft getting helped off.
So Eli Kraft is going to be assisted off the field, and 1-2 count to Jamison Dick in the bottom of the order. Thomas West in the on-deck circle. So we've got a courtesy runner in place now. Interesting that he didn't get to stay, the courtesy runner didn't get to stay at second base. Now he's taken off, actually hits him in the helmet. So Jamison Dick hit on the head by a pitch, and I'll have runners at first and second.
Well, I mean, the courtesy runner could have just walk to second base, and the reason the courtesy runner didn't stay at second following Eli Kraft coming off the field was because that was during that foul ball that almost fell fair that would have, as we said, ticketed for the left field corner.
Gotcha. Short memory there when we're having that moment where we're wondering what was going on with Eli Kraft at second base. But nonetheless, they'll have runners at first and second, and back to Thomas Weston, the leadoff hitter, who's 1 for 1. Shows bunt. It's down, but it goes foul down the third baseline.
This Tidewater team's really been utilizing the bunt this afternoon, and it's kind of a lost art, especially 14s through 17s. You know, it's just not used as much anymore, even at the major league level and college level. But Tidewater's done a pretty good job of getting bunts down, and they've honestly been able to turn a couple of those bunts into singles.
Yeah, I mean, look, you talk about it being a lost art or just, but it's also something that defenses aren't used to having to deal with a lot. I mean, I think when it's something that they don't see, I think it can get teams on its heels, and we're certainly seeing Tidewater Phillies their game plan is let's cause havoc one way or the other, and they're doing it with speed on the base pass and with small ball, and right now they're trying to take this lead as we're all tied up at 6-6. Shows bunt again.
We'll see if Landon Fry can have that same athleticism that Coddington had for Tidewater Phillies on a bunt right back to him to possibly turn a double play.
Well, the primary infielder certainly has the capabilities. And then Fry, we mentioned, on his way to Indiana as a third baseman and shortstop.
Especially if you're rocking the Paul Skeen stash, you got to have some athleticism.
That's right. Well, he does indeed. Kind of fell backwards and maybe slipped a little bit on the wet turf. One run's going to score. Another moves on to third base. We'll have him at the corners, and a 7-6 lead for Tidewater Phillies as they take advantage of a defensive miscue there in the misplay throw from Canes Midwest.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was a relatively decent throw by Landon Fry. It wasn't too far off the bag for Will Coleman to handle, but that's really the second defensive miscue that we've seen from Will Coleman. There was a fly ball earlier in the game that kind of just dropped in no man's land. It looked like Will Coleman was camped right under it, and then a ball that hit the top of his glove and kind of just scooted a little bit away from him allowed Tidewater to make this a one-run lead.
Skies that one. Shortstop's got it. Yeah, it did also look like Fry's plant foot slipped a little bit when he was making that throw, so I'm sure it wasn't the throw he wanted to make, and made things a little bit more difficult on Coleman at first base. But nonetheless, Tidewater Phillies have taken a 7-6 lead here in the top of the 6th.
But if last inning showed us anything, Canes Midwest is nowhere near out of this game at all.
Yeah, no lead safe here in this matchup as we've seen the firepower from both sides. Runners were taken off, but hit by pitch. I think that one had to hurt too as he's made his way back towards the backstop.
It looks like the home plate umpire pointed towards the first base umpire, and the first base umpire signaled for a strike, so I believe it's going to be a foul ball and an 0-1 count.
Okay, certainly looked like it hit him in his reaction, but may have moved a little bit, so they're going to send the runner back to first base, and the AB will continue. It's kind of what you get when you have the four-man umpire crew.
Yeah.
Everyone's able to see things a little bit differently than maybe they would in the two-man crew, and maybe he is making his way down to first base, but a foul ball nonetheless, and there'll be an 0-1 count. I believe that may be it for Landon Fry on the mound. We might see Will Coleman here now as we see him motion towards first base.
It's either that or maybe the Canes head coach wanted to have a mound visit so the umpires can meet and talk about it again, just to double check and make sure it was indeed a foul ball.
Yeah, it's a good point. Landon Fry, 28 pitches so far. Done a strong job since coming in this relief appearance, but again, saw Tidewater Phillies take a 7-6 lead off the errant throw from pitcher to first base and allowed a run to score. Fry's going to stay out there.
Another thing the Canes head coach is probably also talking about too is first and third situation with one out and kind of what they want to do and how they want to approach that, because there's so many different things you can do nowadays with a first and third situation.
This is Connor Worth. Worth 0 for 2. 0-1 count, shows bunt, gets that down, goes back to first, has feigned towards home, but instead to first base, and more havoc on the base pass as Tidewater Phillies takes an 8-6 lead off that suicide squeeze bunt.
Great job by Landon Fry, though, because he wanted to go home with that throw to Taylor Belza, but a lot of pitchers in that situation would panic and make an overthrow towards first base or not get as much mustard on it, but he stayed within himself. He didn't panic, and he got an out, which I think is the biggest and most important thing there.
This is Ryan Gocio, 0 for 2. His team's got an 8-6 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Getting close to the 5 o'clock hour. Sends that one foul. This, again, just the start of a very long week for us here at LakePoint Sports, with the future games getting started tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. is the first workout window, and those will happen throughout the day, and then we'll get rolling with gameplay Thursday through Saturday, and then the junior feature games, bracket play and championship on Sunday. This will be my 5th future games. 1-2. Sends that one to second. Gathers, throws to first in time, but Tidewater Phillies lead 8-6 as we are moving along. This is the 17U National Championship Final. We will be back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the
You want excitement? We've got it here in the 17U National Championship Final. Cory McCartney along with Riley Klingman. 8-6 is a lead for Tidewater Phillies. And yes, we were talking about this during the break. We saw Isaiah Nolan with the 2-run homer for Tidewater Phillies, but it feels like these are two teams that have gone about things two very different ways today. We've seen a whole lot of small ball bunts, havoc on the base pass from Tidewater Phillies. We've seen more of the traditional, let's just get up there and slug with you stuff from Canes Midwest, largely behind the bat of Zahir Barham. But man, this has turned out to be a pretty fantastic finish. And who knows, Riley, what we're going to have in store for the next inning and a half.
Yeah, who knows? I feel like Tidewater is not going to take their foot off the gas, though. They're going to keep using that small ball mentality and that small ball approach for all their hitters going in the box. And then I feel like Canes, they're going to use that more of situational style. We saw Zahir go right side with that 3 RBI double in the last half inning in the bottom of the 5th to tie the game. But I think if Canes Midwest can get Zahir back up for one more AB and maybe, roll it over to the top of the order one more time in the bottom of the 7th to make this game interesting. But for right now, this game is not out of reach for Canes Midwest once again.
We have a new batter for Canes Midwest here. This is Pernell Whitsit's spot in the order. Pull up our master roster here for Canes Midwest, see who we have at the plate. This is Tanner Thomas. Thomas from Arcia High School in Illinois, a Louisville commit. Nice to roll a Louisville commit off your bench in the bottom of the 6th inning. Three-one count to Thomas. Campos fires. Thomas rips that one down the left side. Camera didn't catch up with that. So it's like he indeed did get on. So we're going to have runner at first. Go from Thomas to Will Coleman, the bottom of the order, and then it's back up to the top and Brandon Logan. So nice start here for Canes Midwest, rolling off the bench with Tanner Thomas and getting himself a leadoff single. Campos fires over to first base.
Looks like that ball may have gotten away from the first baseman over there. We saw Campos and the shortstop kind of both run over towards the first base bag. Tanner Thomas might have gotten off the bag a little bit too much there, trying to take second base, but
we have a momentary break here. Just go out to have a word with Campos. Tidewater first baseman Keegan Hassler, he was animatedly talking about something.
it's also a nice mound visit by Tidewater, too, to kind of calm Campos down. He's been a little erratic to start things here in the bottom of the 6th. Didn't really throw a whole lot of quality strikes to the AB against Tanner Thomas, and now he's down to the count 1-0 here against Will Coleman. And like you said, Corey, Canes Midwest has the top of that order coming up with Brandon Logan starting things off, the Vanderbilt commit.
Yeah, poised to potentially do some damage as they trail 8-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Will Coleman now at the plate. It's got Tanner Thomas at first. We've seen 25 pitches out of Campos. That's in for a strike. We've seen 90 from him so far. There's another at 90. So he comes back on the 2-1. First baseman gathers it in foul territory. Keegan Hessler showing off the athleticism.
He tried to pull that thing back into fair territory.
Talk about trying to steal a strike. That's him trying to steal a fair ball and try to get them a key out. 2-2 count. One misses inside. It's a payoff pitch. Skies that one foul.
You ever see that video of Adrian Beltre trying to blow that bunt foul like way back in the day during his prime?
Yep.
He actually just made it to the Hall of Fame, I believe, this
year.
Sure
did, yes. Sunday was his induction ceremony.
Great player, man.
Yeah, he sure was. There's a walk, so they're going to have runners at first and second. Yeah, it was an interesting touch this year across Major League Baseball. The teams had the Baseball Hall of Fame patches on their hats for induction day. think they should have took it a step further and had the numbers of the players that they had inducted, but
Yeah.
nice touch from across the sport. So that's going to be it for Campos, the second mound visit of this inning. So we're going to have a pitching change here at the bottom of the 6th. Campos hands off the ball. So where Tidewater goes next is rolling to another arm.
We got to pull up that lengthy lineup again.
That's right. Sure do.
Looks like number 19.
This looks to be Cam Tellisfin. The 6'4", 215-pound Old Dominion commit. Fastball around 83, change up 72 to 74, and he's got a curveball in the 68 to 69 range. Fourth-ranked third baseman in Virginia in the Class 103 overall. We're going to see him here on the mound. We're supposed to have started our broadcast around 12:40, but things were delayed a little bit. Ended up, I believe, starting action today at 1:30.
Some good news for the Tidewater Phillies when they were showing the camera angle of behind Cam Tellisfin. I saw Eli Kraft amongst the group of infielders there. So nothing too scary there for him. He's still in the ball game playing second base.
So just shook up a little bit, but finds his way back in them. That's obviously good news.
If you're Cam Tellisfin kind of enduring this first and second jam per se, and you have a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 6th, do you think it's more about, you know, do you think it's more than just throwing strikes, or is it trying to pitch to contact to get a weak ground ball back to the pitcher, or get a ground ball to somebody in the infield to turn a double play?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're kind of trying to play off the opponent, trying to force their way back into this thing, right? I mean, it's 8-6. It's the bottom of the 6th. Our guys pressing, and can you feast on that and kind of put guys into position where they're making mistakes instead of, you know, going up there trying to, you know, to search for that fastball and search for that mistake that you make. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of playing to contact, but I think it's also trying to hope that you can put a guy in a position he doesn't want to be in, and see what he's able to do here. Is he's going to face off against Logan in the top of the order. Logan gets bunt down. We said he can absolutely fly. Man, he is coasting down the line. No one was covering the bag, and now the bases are going to be loaded.
Canes Midwest kind of pulling a little trick out of the Tidewater Phillies trick book there, as Logan gets a beautiful bunt down. It just got down the first baseline, but Tellisfin and the catcher kind of got crossed up about who was going to take that ball, especially with the first baseman crashing, and then Eli Kraft was a little bit late to cover. But as you said, Corey, Brandon Logan can absolutely fly, so it feels like he would have been safe even if Kraft would have gotten over there to cover.
6'6" in the 60, but he could have jogged down the line with nobody covering the bag. So 8-6 lead, but Canes Midwest are threatening again. So Mason Barth watches that one miss inside, and Notre Dame commit looking to do some damage. He was on the mound pitching extremely well before the delay, and we saw some frustration on his face as he looked back and saw that graphic on the scoreboard that said we were under a lightning delay here at LakePoint Sports, and he's going to get hit by a pitch. The run's going to score. It's now 8-7.
Canes Midwest kind of doing the complete opposite of what I said they would do here in the bottom of the 6th. They're kind of playing the Tidewater Phillies type of game, bunting to get guys over, taking really good at-bats, drawing walks, and there, Canes Midwest is able to get an easy run with a hit by pitch.
Well, the next few batters for Canes Midwest are all kinds of trouble. You got Landon Fry here, then Taylor Belzo, then Matthew Major, and Zahir Barjum. So this is the top of the part of the order with nobody out. The Canes Midwest absolutely wants up. Landon Fry's 1 for 3. The Indiana commit looking to at least tie this thing up, if not put his team ahead with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th and the bases loaded. Sends that one down the first base side foul. It's like our guy Tucker's got some competition. I see another cameraman down there. Comes the 1-1 from Tellison. Fry with the bouncer to the third. Nolan throws home for the out. Nice play at the plate. So the bases remain loaded. Nice job by Isaiah Nolan at third, making the throw home, able to get the lead runner, and we have seen some absolutely heady baseball in this game.
Yeah, that was Will Coleman coming home. I think he thought he got underneath that tag, but the umpire reassured him that he was out.
Now Taylor Belza's turn with one out. Auburn commit watches that miss. Belza's 0 for 2. First time we see Canes Midwest have the bases loaded. They were unable to come through. Second time, Zahir Barjam hits a 3-run triple. Let's see what they do for the third time here as they have the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th, trying to take over this game. Their only lead was 2-1 after 2. Since then, Tidewater Phillies responded in the top of the 3rd with 1. Canes were able to notch things up after 5 at 6-6, but we saw 2 runs in the top of the 6th from Tidewater Phillies and then 1 the bottom of this inning. Man, 101.3 off the bat. Taylor Belza, man, have yourself a moment. That is back, track, and gone. That was an absolute bullet, man, a bullet train of a shot. Everyone's running in to go get him. That was a monster home run from Taylor Belza as he's getting swamped at second base.
Yeah, nice RBI double down the line that got stuck in the corner, and it looks like it's gonna be a walk-off for Taylor Belza here in the bottom of the 6th, and Canes Midwest will knock off the Tidewater Phillies, who had all the momentum in the top of the 6th inning. But Canes Midwest has enough fight to take down one of the top teams in the 17U National Championship here at LakePoint Sports.
That was a monster home. Look, we've seen some hard-hit balls. 101.3 off the bat. That second his bat made contact with that, Taylor Belza was just jumping for joy. He absolutely knew that he had that moment and had his team a national championship as they come back. They trailed 6-2 and able to come back and get this thing and walk away 9-8 winners over Tidewater Phillies.
Yeah, and that was a gritty win too. I mean, a lot of traffic on the bases for Tidewater and for Canes Midwest. A lot of things went wrong for both sides, but at the end of the day, Canes Midwest, they had great approaches and great at-bats there in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Taylor Belza with possibly the best AB of the game. He was challenged by Tellisvin on the inner half, and Taylor Belza was able to turn on that pitch and drive it into the right field corner for a 2 RBI double for Canes Midwest to bring home the 17U National Championship.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring this into us here in the studio, and let's go ahead and talk about player of the game, because I don't think there was any denying this thing. When you talk about the way that this game set up, and Tidewater Phillies gets on the board first, Canes Midwest comes through with the Zahir Barjam home run to take a 2-1 lead. Tidewater Phillies doing their thing. We see Isaiah Nolan hit the home run, but largely getting it done with small ball. And then Canes Midwest has another blow from Zahir Barjam to get the 3-run triple, and then everything sets itself up for that 6th inning where it's like, is Canes Midwest going to see this thing kind of slip away from him? It all comes down to the bat of Taylor Belza. We saw just a second ago, 101.3 off the bat. There is no denying Taylor Belza earned player of the game.
Yeah, there's no denying it indeed, and I honestly don't think Taylor Belza would have been in that situation if Canes Midwest didn't work those counts, have good approaches, take some hit by pitches there, some walks, and also really do the necessary things to get guys in position to score. Taylor Belza took a great AB, like I said earlier. He got a pitch that was in his zone on the inner half, and he didn't miss it at 101.3 into the right field corner.
Yeah, the Cleveland St. Ignatius catcher, the top-ranked catcher in Ohio, second-ranked player in the class of 2025, shows out in a big way. Canes Midwest are your 17U national champions, and man, what an unbelievable end to ring season here at LakePoint Sports. And this is just obviously getting started here in a very busy week with the future games set for Wednesday through Sunday. And we have got a treat for you. We're going to have daily broadcasts beginning with Wednesday's workout day and stretching into Sunday in the Junior Future Games Championship. So make sure you join us Tuesday morning as we'll be bringing you that action, Wednesday morning, bringing you that action available for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I will be joined along the way by Prep Baseball scouting directors, players, and coaches as well. So going to be a fantastic week ahead here at the Baseball Village. So until then, for producer Grayson, Rosen, and Riley Klingman, I'm Cory McCartney saying thanks for joining us from LakePoint Sports.